Hey, shut up. Man, am I allowed to talk at all? I'm getting boxed out here, man. House of Un-American Activities we need, man. Go ahead. Sorry.
For action against the police, calling for occupying, private property and stuff like that. Get them out.
Impeding people to get to school.
Send them back. If you are here as a guest on a green card, on a visa like that.
Right.
So if you're an anti-American, beat it. Like, send them the hell out of here.
Right. If you say things that people making money from the military crap don't like, then give them one of these.
Boom.
Right out of the country, right? Oh, great, man. That's great. What's that cat doing back there? Oh, this is my newsman. I think the full name of his show is In Support of Warmongering and Spying, starring, what's this guy's name? Kitty Cat Joe, I think this guy is. That's why that's back there. I gotta play this. I played this on Patreon. I gotta play it again.
The law clearly states, and if you want to change it, we can change it.
Okay,
there is no judicial review. The State Department can kick out any green card holder whenever they want.
At any time.
If it's lawful.
No. There's no question of what lawful is because there's no judicial review.
And
the State Department literally.
Okay, then one of his co-hosts, this lady right here, is like, I don't know if that's true, Tim.
Libya is right.
Am I right?
You are correct. So there is judicial review in this particular case.
It's okay.
So, Section 237A1B is specifically about deportation.
Right.
And
it's okay, man.
What they're saying is, if the revocation of visa...
I would probably quit here if I were him. This House of Un-American Activities, McCarthyism type crap. You know, the guy gets out there, he's like, yeah, if you got a green card, we kick you right out. If you say something we don't like, if you say something that the CIA doesn't like, we'll kick your ass out. Yeah, I guess they're saying. And even his co-hosts are like, I don't know if that's true. I think maybe there's like a court thing or something. He's like, nope,
kick him out.
10 minutes later, he's like, I was wrong. I was clearly wrong.
I am a fool.
So there you go. That's the type of people who defend this kind of thing, you know? Geniuses, in other words. Well, guys, wow.
Boom, 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 boom.
That's the sound of Friday.
Boom, boom.
Give us pizza or give us death.
Boom.
Now, I just want to be clear on this. Friday's a great day, but it's...
For one day.
No, it's forever.
Boom.
Well, hope you have a great weekend. Look at that weekend. Look that weekend in its stupid little face and say...
I'm going to haunt you.
See you next week. Unless you're Patron, then you'll be seeing much more. Right now. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.
Hey, man, attention, high alert emergency. You're missing episodes. Every single week, you're missing episodes. Click the link in the description. And oh my God. To subscribe on Patreon. See you there. Bye.
You can drink old tiny drinks in my expensive cup. You can drink with little drinks in my expensive cup.
New York Times reports that Columbia admin is warning international students to avoid publishing work on Gaza and purge their social media mentions of Mahmoud Khalil. Dean of the journalism school openly said, "We cannot protect you from abduction by ICE. How is this still business as usual?" Days after immigration officers arrested a prominent pro-Palestinian campus activist, administrators of Columbia University gathered students and faculty from the journalism school and issued a warning. Students who are not U.S. citizens should avoid publishing work on Gaza, Ukraine, and protests related to their former classmates' arrest, urged Stuart Carl, a First Amendment lawyer and adjunct professor. With about 2 months to go before graduation, their academic accomplishments or even their freedom could be at risk if they attracted the ire of the Trump administration. If you have a social media page, make sure it is not filled with commentary on the Middle East, he told the gathering at Pulitzer Hall. At Pulitzer Hall. I'm going to repeat that. They're gathering at Pulitzer Hall, the journalism students at Columbia at Pulitzer Hall, to tell them, hey, don't do any journalism on issues that might piss off the administration. At Pulitzer Hall. Super cool stuff. Anyway, when a Palestinian student objected, the journalism school's dean, Jelani Cobb, was more direct about the school's inability to defend international students from federal prosecution. Nobody can protect you, Mr. Cobb said. These are dangerous times. What good is it that you are a school if you are not going to forcibly purge ICE from your campus? If you're not going to go to New York State to say, we do not want ICE on our campuses, they are not allowed to come here. Like, what good are you doing as a school? Imagine paying like $250,000 to $400,000 to go to this goddamn school. And the school's like, sorry, you're going to get deported if you do journalism about things that Trump cares about. Notice how they're not just saying Gaza, by the way. They're not just saying Gaza. If you do journalism about Ukraine and the protests related to their former classmates' arrest, you can't even talk shit about Trump's handling of Ukraine because you still might get deported. You might as well say you're complying with the administration. What a ridiculous, what a crock of shit, dude. What a gross violations. What a gross violation of human rights and all norms is crazy. Yale suspends scholar after AI-powered news site accuses her of terrorist link. Wait, what? I read that and it didn't even register. Yale suspends scholar after AI-powered news site accuses her of terrorist link. The deputy director of a liberal project at Yale Law School was put on leave over allegations that she is linked to Samidon, a group that the U.S. government says has funded terrorists. Helie Dotagi, a scholar in international law, began a new job in 2023 as a deputy director of a project at Yale Law School. As an activist who has championed pro-Palestinian cause in both published papers and public appearances, Dr. Dotagi seemed to fit into the left-leaning mission of the Law and Political Economy Project, which promoted itself as working for economic, racial, and gender equality. Last week, though, she was abruptly barred from Yale campus in New Haven and placed on administrative leave. She was told not to advertise her affiliation with the university, where she has also served as an associate research scholar. What? Yale officials cited the reason as allegations that she was tied to entities subject to U.S. sanctions. It was an apparent reference to Samidun, a pro-Palestinian group placed on U.S. sanctions list last year after the Treasury Department designated as a sham charity raising money for a terrorist organization, the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. Samidun, by the way, is only a part of the Treasury Department's designation as a sham charity because, for the record, I don't even know about her links to Samidun, but the only reason why it's considered a terrorist entity or a pro-terrorist entity is because Israel decided it was a pro-terrorist entity. Samidun, whose information I have relied on in the past, right here, by the way, you can see it, is the Palestinian Prisoner Solidarity Network. It is a prisoner solidarity organization. Do you want to know why the Treasury Department designated it as a terrorist organization? The world decided they're terrorists. No, it was initially Israel that decided it was a terrorist organization. Now, this person isn't even, I don't know if they're actually linked to the, I don't know if they're actually directly linked to Samidun. And make no mistake, I do not care if they're affiliated with the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. I do not care about that even one bit. The real reason why the Israeli government came after them is specifically because since 2021, Israel has listed it as a foreign terrorist entity and pressured the American government to also do so. The reason why Israel has designated them as a foreign terrorist or as a terrorist entity is because they actually played a role alongside other Palestinian prisoner solidarity networks in exposing heinous crimes that Palestinians were subjected to under Israeli military detention. That is the reason. The decision came 3 days after a news site, powered at least in part by artificial intelligence, published a story about Dr. Dotagi's connections to the group. The news site called her a member of a terrorist group. Dude, I'm sorry. Let me tell you something. I think a lot of this stuff is escalating because Israel is spending more money on tarring and feathering virtually anyone that has ever even been tangentially critical of Israel. The sole purpose of this is to stop people from criticizing Israel completely. They know that the public opinion is the lowest it has ever been in the 76 years of Israeli history. Okay, whoa, Alex Jones, though? Yeah, call me Alex Jones of the left if you want, even though the Israeli government itself said that they have to do this and that they're spending more money doing this. Also, let me explain something to you. It's not a stretch to make this assertion when Israelis themselves, like the Israeli Knesset itself, does not hide it. They're very open. Yeah, Here it is from the Jewish News of Northern California. Israel has spent millions trying to win hearts and minds abroad. It's about to spend 20 times more. The Israeli government plans to offset wartime spending and an economic slowdown with tax hikes and deep cuts to public services. Nice. Austerity, baby. Let's go. That certainly won't cause people to leave Israel. That'll keep them there for sure. But the proposed budget for 2025 also includes a massive new allocation towards pro-Israel advocacy efforts abroad. Under the new budget, Israel's foreign ministry will receive $150 million on top of what it gets for its existing activities for what is officially known as public diplomacy, or in Hebrew, hasbara. Oh no, the horror. I thought Ethan Klein decided that this was a slur. I thought Ethan Klein decided that the thing that the Israeli government actively says it's doing, using the term that the Israeli government uses, the Hebrew term, that I thought was a slur now. Oh no, ban incoming. Why are they saying slurs? He thinks it's a slur only if you use it. Oh, it's a slur when I use it. Okay, he said hasbara means lying Jew, lamafeal. Once again, my mistake. I didn't realize I was in the presence of Mr. I'm the one who dictates how you protest against the genocidal apartheid settler colonial enterprise. I didn't realize I was in the wrong again. Dude. That sum is more than 20 times what such efforts have typically been allotted in the past years. The dramatic expenditure is a result of the political deal that the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu struck last month to shore up his governing coalition. Yeah, anyway, so there you have it. No, I heard that. What do you mean, no, he didn't? I literally watched him say it. What are you talking about? In an interview, Dr. Dotagi, 30, called herself a loud and proud supporter of Palestinian rights. I'm a scholar, she said, adding, I'm not a member of any organization that would constitute a violation of U.S. law. The swift action against Dr. Dotagi illustrates the tightrope American universities are walking. Last week, after being named on a list of schools accused of tolerating anti-Semitism, on Monday, the Trump administration announced Yale was among 60 schools that could face funding cuts if federal investigations show evidence that they've permitted anti-Semitic behavior.
These people are sick. They don't know what's happening in the real world. The Democrats have to get their act together. And if they don't vote, then what you're going to do is you're going to have taxes that are going to go through the roof. You're going to have a very bad time. You're going to have some very bad things happen. And people are going to blame the Democrats. And Schumer is a Palestinian, as far as I'm concerned. You know, he's become a Palestinian. He used to be Jewish. He's not Jewish anymore. He's a Palestinian. Okay.
There's been a lot of on and off, some inconsistency.
There's no inconsistency, only with NBC, which is one of the worst networks on television, by the way. Let me just tell you the inconsistency.
Okay, let me tell you something, okay? The reason why the ADL is not making a statement about that is because they agree with Donald Trump. They too like using Palestinian as a pejorative, and they also think that Chuck Schumer is not harsh enough. My bad. A president has many powers, but none of them include deciding who is and isn't Jewish. Doing so and using Palestinian as a slur are both beneath any POTUS. Instead of weaponizing people's identity, use the power of the bully pulpit to bring the American people back together. You were doing so great yesterday when you were trying to deport Mahmoud. Now you're calling Chuck Schumer a Palestinian. Softest condemnation of all time. Oh, yeah, it's not serious. Nobody gives a what ADL has to say, bro. I'm sorry. I really hope that Trump catches wind of the ADL getting mad at him and then gets mad back at the ADL and then starts calling them Palestinians too. That'd be sick. I'm just imagining a world where Trump and the ADL are duking it out. Oh, that'd be so funny. I mean, nothing would come of that, obviously. ADL itself is no longer like an institution with any sort of teeth. Like, they've completely lost their sauce, right? Having said that, it would be sick if they fought. Why would the ADL push back? Are they trying to save their PR? Yeah. They want to come across like a legitimate institution because a lot of normies basically lost confidence in the ADL. They just like kind of dropped ADL in its entirety. And the reason why they did is because the Sig Heil salute. Like when the ADL defended Elon Musk, very clearly hitting the Sig Heil, I think that was a big point for a lot of normies to be like, okay, I'm done. Like normies that don't normally pay attention, they're like, dude, come on, you are not a serious, reputable institution. And I think that is the reason why they have to like turn around and now kind of play ass covering to the best of their ability to be like, no, we still care about anti-Semitism in moments like this. we're going to be talking about the Jewish protesters arrested after storming Trump Tower.
To nearly 100 people after a crowd of protesters stormed the lobby of Trump Tower in New York City.
And then we'll talk about how the Democrats caved.
The release of Mahmoud Khalil, a Palestinian activist, a graduate student at NYU, or rather at Columbia University. He is at risk of being deported after he helped lead protests against the war in Gaza at the university last year. Homeland Security officials have accused Khalil of being a Hamas sympathizer.
We spoke to one of the organizers of Jewish Voice for Peace about why they wanted to come out here. And to them, they said they did not want the First Amendment entrenched on, which is what they believe Khalil was doing over the course of leading some of the protests we saw out of Columbia University. But also they wanted to show solidarity from the Jewish people as well. Those were the words that one of the organizers told me as we spoke to her, as some of her protesters were being loaded onto these buses. There were no violent incidents in regards to the arrest themselves. Once they were taken into police custody, there did not seem to be any resistance. We did not hear of any resistance.
This is awesome, and it's a good thing. Civil disobedience and getting arrested, especially for groups like Jewish Voice for Peace, is an incredibly important tactic. I think it's the appropriate thing to do. I think it's the right thing to do. And I think that they are incredibly brave for putting their bodies on the line like this and using their privilege. The reason why I say that is because a lot of this conversation in the Western world revolves around how this is a Muslim versus Jew situation. This kind of stuff gets reported on by mainstream news, and it educates people who are maybe living in the rest of the country, maybe not around Jews, for example, that this is not actually a Jew versus Muslim situation at all, and that it's not like a scary terrorist that was arrested in this process. It reinforces that reality that this is about people's collective conscience and has nothing to do with like their ethnic background or centuries old Islam versus Judaism battles or whatever. It shows solidarity. It reframes the conversation away from the ridiculous propaganda that you see from mainstream media. It plays a very important role that forces people to address the root cause of the issue and the lies that right-wingers tell about this issue, or the lies that Zionists tell about this issue. Doing it at Trump Tower is great because everybody hates Trump. All the liberals hate Trump. This will cause them to also look at the protests in a positive manner, like liberals who might be somewhat conflicted on this stuff, on the issue of Zionism. Because at the end of the day, public discourse and public awareness is still fairly consequential, and you have to bring normies on board. It's not the entire way, okay? It's not the only way. It's not the only method, and I will not discount other methods. Having said that, this is a fairly significant way to reframe the narrative back to the truth, to take the reins of this narrative and reshape it so that people understand what is actually going on, what the dynamic truly looks like. To complex problems, especially structural, especially systematic issues that exist and persist, there's always going to be multiple different avenues of attack, pressure, all the way from militancy down to peaceful civil disobedience, all the way down to like broad awareness spreading campaigns. And that's why this is a good thing, okay? This is a great thing. It's a wonderful thing. And I think that it's the right thing to do. It is the appropriate thing to do. It's the moral thing to do.
Joining us now, CNN senior national security analyst Juliette Kayyem. So, Juliette, over 120 people entering Trump Tower, a law enforcement official telling CNN at the height of this. Tell us a little bit about that security setup there now that it's not Trump's official residence.
Yeah, so I'm surprised by this. I would have assumed that just given the public nature of Trump's commercial activities, it would be very difficult to have 100 people come. It was clearly a secretively planned protest, and they were.
I knew it was going to happen. May or may not know some people that were there, and may or may not gotten arrested. Wasn't that big of a secret. But she's right. It was planned ahead of time, deliberately.
And this is the interesting thing about Trump, without getting into whether he should or shouldn't do it. One, and we saw this with Elon Musk with the Teslas. Because they've broken down the distinction between their public roles and their private commercialization, monetization rules. you are seeing these protests touch them in their commercial space. We saw this with Elon Musk and attacks on Tesla, as well as now this protest. Donald Trump cannot close down Trump Tower. It's a commercial space. It's a residential space. And so they are sort of dealing with, I think, in some ways, the consequences of that merger of monetization and policy and the First Amendment.
So these arrests, charging people with obstructing government administration.
By the way, these people are very openly, unapologetically, and deliberately showcasing that they are Jewish. Very little distinctions are being made, very little commentary is being made about that fact. And I have to assume that a certain point has got to be deliberate. They barely mentioned it in the beginning, where they were like, oh yeah, Jewish Voice for Peace is the group. And then that's it. Them being Jewish is a part of this process, is a part of this protest. It is like an important part of the protest. That's why it's called Jewish Voice for Peace. You know what I mean? That's why they put it on their signage. And it's not because of Jewish exceptionalism or whatever. It's because in order to break through the pre-established narratives surrounding Islamophobia, surrounding the way to normalize or obfuscate the truth about Israel by claiming that it's directly tied and associated with Judaism around the world, and certainly in America, is by doing like this.
The interesting thing about this is this was organized by a Jewish group. So the narrative of, well, sort of pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian equals pro-Hamas Arabs that is often used, and it was used in Mahmoud's case.
Why did you say the quiet part out loud, bro? What the? She's like, yeah, normally we would be like, if they're Arabs, they love Al-Qaeda, but they're Jews, so we can't say that. That's insane. Normally it would be like, hey, they love Hamas. Look at these dirty Arabs, they love Hamas. But when they're Jews, we can't say that. It makes it harder to say that. Oh my Lord. Ay, ay, ay. What a f***ing insane moment of honesty right there.
Case is harder to make against Jewish organizations. I have no doubt that that's why they did it, because there's great diversity within the Jewish American population about what's going on, divisions amongst them, and I think that's a very important part of this narrative of who it was organized by and why.
We are here.
If they mention that these people are Jewish at all on Fox News, they will do my favorite thing that I love seeing, which is, I call it Gentile confidence, where a bunch of the most Christian-looking motherfuckers will sit there and be like, yeah, these Jews are bad. They're not real Jews, actually. We should put them in concentration camps, actually. And it's like the most golden retriever looking ass blonde lady you've ever seen in your life saying that. And you're like, how does this not ring any alarm bells? You're not Jewish. Just like a shocking display of overt anti-Semitism, if they mentioned that the group's called Jewish Voice for Peace at all.
Protesting against the defamation and deprivation of Mahmoud by Donald Trump. I don't really understand what Donald Trump's intentions are, and I won't speak for them, but I will say that the impact is causing a lot of harm to people who are asking for peace.
So there's that. Katie Pavlich joins us with her reaction, but first let's get an update from the New York City Police, from the chief of the department, John Schell. Chief, good to have you here today. Do you have any idea who this group is, or who pays for these T-shirts, who organized it all? Any idea?
Yeah, we're well versed in this group. I don't want to give them any advertisement. We've dealt with them before. We know what their MO is, if you will. And again, I just can't stress enough.
Just say their name, bro. Why won't you say it? Just say the name of the group. What is it? You're very familiar with them, huh? I doubt that you wouldn't be openly talking about it if it was like, I don't know, Arab Muslims for Peace or some shit. He'll be like, yeah, I'll say it. It's Hamas. It's fucking Hamas. That's right. These guys love Hamas.
That in 2 hours we got this cleared up. 98 people. We had to carry people up escalators and walk them out. It's not the easiest thing to do in the world, but our training and our
oh my God. I feel so bad for you, sir. Jesus Christ.
professionalism through our cops, we do this very well in New York City.
Indeed you do. Thank you so much, Chief Shell. Always good to see you. Thank you for what you do to keep the people of New York City safe. And as you say, 5,000 protests of this kind in the past year or so since October 7th is extraordinary. Thank you so much, Chief. Good to see you.
Have a great day, Martha.
You too. Thank you, sir.
Interesting. Not one mention of the name of the organization. You housed the criminal? Yeah, I know. Damn, 2 minutes ago. That's crazy.
Refuse to believe they're all students. They're coming from, wherever they're coming from with pre-printed T-shirts. There's some money behind this, Lisa, and there's no doubt about that because we've lived through this before.
Big money T-shirts.
This is what open borders potentially can bring you. I can't believe everybody.
Come on, say it.
Psychopath
say who funds the
fascists.
protest. Say the Jews funded the protest. Come on, say it. Oh, look at Noah. He's right there. They should have never let this criminal back out on the streets. Yet another terrorist that I've had on the broadcast. When will this Hassan guy stop constantly having terrorists on his stream?
Everybody's here on a student visa and or a green card in the crowd, or that they're all American citizens. I think we have to find that out. And where it is applicable, as Ari has said, get them out. I refuse to believe they're all students. They're coming from.
That's so funny. Look at that. I can't believe Noah tricked you by hiding his radical beliefs. Yeah, you can tell that the Republicans are having a hard time covering this because, the shirts very clearly say Jewish Voice for Peace, not in our name, and the people that are being arrested are Jewish. It's difficult. It plays a role in this, in the narrative that you want to craft as this is a entirely Arab Muslim thing. And this isn't to say that Islamophobia is very real. Okay. Trust me. I know personally. Okay. But because Islamophobia is so real, a lot of the media narratives around this stuff revolve around this being a purely Muslim issue or whatever. And they set it up that way so they can easily undermine it. Now, there's two different ways to go about it. One, to combat the Islamophobia directly, but also simultaneously explain to people that it's not like a Muslim Jew issue at all. It's an issue for those with a conscience versus those who are inhumane barbarians.
Are calm now, but it was a chaotic couple of hours inside Trump Tower. The NYPD says among the charges in these arrests is trespassing and obstructing governmental administration. The NYPD says around 150 people entered Trump Tower in plain clothes. But once inside, they revealed protest shirts and signs and staged a sit-in.
Within 10 minutes, we started responding here from the police department. Within 40 minutes, 50 minutes, we started making arrests.
Police carried out demonstrators like Josh Dubnow.
We have a right to express our opinions, but I refuse to allow my fear to stop me from expressing my First Amendment rights.
The demonstration organized by the group Jewish Voice for Peace, which is an anti-Zionist Jewish group.
We're seeing the Trump regime weaponize anti-Semitism to attack freedom of speech.
The Anti-Defamation League says it does not represent the mainstream Jewish community. Attorney Gerard Falitti is an activist with the group End Jew Hatred.
The issue is not students saying that they support Palestine, but it's rather students taking action, blocking Jewish students from accessing parts.
Oh, God. They're not blocking Jewish students from accessing certain parts of the campus. Shut the up. I mean, it's look at this. I mean, obviously, look. This motherfucker got a CIA mug behind him. Yeah, no shit. God damn, dude. Lying is OP. Lying is so OP. Lying is so OP. It's just there's no interest in the truth. The Democrats, liberal media, everyone in positions of power have unironically gone along with this lie over and over and over and over and over and over again. That it has basically become the established truth. It doesn't matter.
Parts of campus. When you're talking about globalizing the Intifada is known as specifically violence targeting Jews in Israel. So you are selectively discriminating against an identifiable group of people, which is, in this case, anti-Semitic.
This comes on the same day the Council on American Islam.
After talking to Hamas, U.S. hostage negotiator Adam Baylor reportedly removed from position. There it is, dude. Benjamin Netanyahu sends his regards, you know?
Islamic Relations New York filed a lawsuit against Columbia University and the Congressional Committee on Education and Workforce. Plaintiffs are Khalil and 7 other students who say the school handing over student disciplinary records to that committee a few months ago violated the Family Education Rights Privacy Act.
Allowing Congress and institutions like Columbia and others to target you or someone else because of a viewpoint you hold is an epic danger to American values.
Troy Egger, second in command at the Department of Homeland Security on Mahmoud Khalil. Is any criticism of the United States government a deportable offense? Like I said, if you go through the process and you're a student and you're here on a visa and you go through it at any point, is any criticism of the government a deportable offense? Question again. Let me put it this way, Michael. Imagine if we came in and filled out the form and said, I want a student visa. They asked him, what are you going to do here? And he says, I'm going to go and protest. We would never have let him into this country. Martin says, is protesting a deportable offense? You're focused on protests. I'm focused on the visa process. He went through a legal process. They are doing the thing that I was trying to describe to Asmongold when he just simply did not understand. As it stands, there is no rule in the rule book that says you can deport someone for exercising their First Amendment rights, non-citizen, citizen alike. That's not a thing. You can, however, waive the visa of a person if you believe that they are interested in protest, or you can deny them entry into the country. But once you're in the country, it's over. You get the same protections as everybody else. What these guys are trying to do is play fast and loose with the pre-existing law that is already stupid, by the way, that like, oh, we can waive your visa up until the point of entry into this country if you say that you're going to protest or whatever. That's ridiculous, okay? Not only is that ridiculous, but also that would require a tremendous amount of surveillance, to figure out like, whether or not someone is demonstrating Palestinian sympathies and shit like that. That's insane. The very fact that we are discussing this as though it is just simply a back and forth is terrifying. And the very fact that people don't understand how gross of a violation of people's human rights this is, and how this desecrates the Constitution of the United States and the free speech protections it affords everyone unconditionally is shocking, genuinely shocking. We are officially directly in the throes of fascism. We're not one step removed from fascism. We're not bouldering towards fascism. This is fascism. If they can retroactively apply visa waiver denials to people that have already become legal permanent residents, they can denaturalize people too. This sets an insane precedent. And if they can retroactively decide and denaturalize people, they can deport people. They can deport American citizens. Why can they? And they can do it for virtually any reason they choose to do so. As long as you call someone a terrorist, you're good to go. And considering that the Trump administration has talked about vandalizing Teslas as an act of terror, trust me, it's coming. You are a moron if you don't recognize this. I am not saying, I'm not like I'm not exaggerating. I'm not freaking out for no reason, okay? This is truly unique new levels of depravity for the American government. I'm not fear-mongering. Thank you. I was forgetting the word. I am not fear-mongering when I say this. I am looking at the logical conclusion by making assessments off of what the administration is saying and also their proclivity to follow through on some of these promises that they've made on the campaign trail, whether it be Project 2025 and its implementation or whether it be directly denaturalizing people. This is straightforward Nazi shit. The Deputy Secretary Troy Egger, unwilling to answer a simple question.
Is any criticism of the Israeli government a deportable offense?
Like I said, I think that at this point, when he was entered into the country on a student visa, at any point we can go through and evaluate what his status is, and the Secretary of State.
Is any criticism of the United States government a deportable offense?
Yeah, this is not hyperbole. I am telling you exactly what is going on, and I'm telling you where this is going to go. Understand the danger in front of us right now.
Able to
And
criticize
our
something
institutions that are supposed to be, at least to a certain degree, interested in upholding, peaceful education for its students and and maintain some semblance of normalcy are completely caving. They are caving to the right-wing reactionary neo-Nazi administration and its Nazi-ass policies. We're there. Donald Trump also earlier today talked about how he wants the Supreme Court to allow him to end birthright citizenship. Again, directly a violation of the Constitution. This is constitutionally protected. He wants to reverse the 14th Amendment.
Like I said, if you go through the process and you're a student and you're here on a visa and you go through at any point.
Is any criticism of the government a deportable offense?
It is shocking how much these guys will make it seem as though Israel has the American government by the f***ing balls, dude. Truly. Like, this is some real neo-Nazi, anti-Semitic conspiracy the way these dudes operate. Like, you're the deputy secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, and you're like, yeah, if you criticize Israel, like, you'll get deported. That's insane. If you criticize a foreign nation, you'll get f***ing deported. Holy sh**.
Like I said, as a student, he comes to the United States on a student visa, applied. Well, let me put it this way, Michelle. Imagine if he came in and filled out the form and said, I want a student visa. They asked him, what are you going to do here? And he said,
he was
I'm
a
going
student.
to go and protest and
So
join
is protesting a deportable event?
We would never have let him into
Is
the country.
protesting a deportable offense?
Like I said, you're focused on protesting. I'm focused on the visa process. He went through a legal process, came into the country.
Are you saying that he lied on his application? He's a lawful permanent resident married to an American citizen.
Well, I think if he would have declared he's a terrorist, we would have never let him in.
Dog, what are you saying? He didn't do terrorism. You're just racistly saying he's a terrorist. Oh my God. The third wave of Red Scare is upon us. And this time it's basically anything and everything. It's being built around a pre-existing network of combating anti-Semitism, which is not actually to combat anti-Semitism at all, but is the silent dissent against Israel, and using that as an entry point into overriding some of the most important, if not the most important, constitutional protections that the government offers to every single person. This is terrifying. It's happening in front of our eyes. It's unfolding in front of our eyes. And there's still a bunch of dumb who don't recognize it and, dare I say, entertain it and celebrate it.
What did he engage in that constitutes terrorist activity?
I mean, Michelle, have you watched it on TV? It's pretty clear.
No, it isn't. Well, explain it to those of us who have not, or perhaps others have not. What exactly did he do?
Well, I think it's clear, or we shouldn't be talking about it. I mean, the reality is that if you watch and see what he's done on the university.
Do you not know? Are you telling us that you're not aware? You don't know what he did?
No, I find it interesting that you're not aware.
Oh, I think you could explain it to us. I think others would like to know exactly what the offenses are, what the propaganda was that you allege, what the activity was that you allege. Well, perhaps we can talk again and you can give us more details about this. And that's Department of Homeland Security.
It's alarming that they're this incompetent, by the way. They're bouldering through this, and institutions like Columbia are also caving to this pressure. They're caving to donor pressure, and they're caving to outside government pressure because their funds, their grants are being removed. Right now, they're doing it for Israel, okay? They're doing it for Israel. That's just what this is. What makes you think tomorrow they're not going to do this for, I don't know, gay students, trans students, black students, anything they want? What makes you think they're not going to do this because you have too much DEI, for example? That's also an intentionally vague definition. You're a f***ing moron if you think that that's not going to happen.
We're losing Charlie.
Yeah, dude. 1 month ago, Ethan Klein uploaded the content nuke against Hassan Piker.
This video was to be the end of Hassan Piker. It was to be Ethan Klein's glorious victory. He was going to prove for good that Israel is actually epic, Palestine is wrong, and that Hassan Piker is a terrorist whose career was going to be over after his expose. Now, here we stand, about 40 days after that, and Ethan Klein, rather than uploading his glorious victory lap follow-up video to this supposed content nuke on Hassan Piker, has uploaded the video alleging that there is a Reddit gang stalking ring that apparently like camped outside his house or something, and his world seems to be crashing down around him. Okay, well, it seems like the content nuke against Hassan Piker was not actually a nuke at all. So we're going to check out this gang stalking delusion video made by Ethan Klein. And we're going to see what he has to say. So just before we move on, Ethan making this video is in regards to a supposed visit by Child Protective Services to his house, which, to be clear, I still have not seen them provide any evidence that this happened. Maybe they have, who knows. But either way, if it happened, it's because of what they themselves said in their own podcast, rather than anyone reporting them dishonestly or anything like that as they are attempting to claim. I will show you the clip that is clearly enough to warrant such a visit. This is a clip from the H3 podcast from the 17th of February, where Ethan states in no uncertain terms the following. 1, his dog had the parasite Giardia. 2, one of his children contracted the parasite Giardia from the dog. 3, his wife Gila contracted the parasite Giardia in some fashion. 4, now he thinks that he himself has the parasite. Klein then goes on to state in no uncertain terms that he believes that you contract this parasite in only one way, which is through eating feces. Now, if you were a CPS officer and you saw this clip, you would likely want to check on this family of your own volition. You didn't need anyone to tell you to do it. Watch.
So that's only one part of it. The next part is, what's the next? That Olive has Giardia, which is it's a bacterial infection in the intestines that makes you have diarrhea.
And Olive has this?
Olive has this, yeah. She came to us with it.
Okay.
She had diarrhea, and
oh, poor baby.
Ducky came to us with that too. And I just wonder why.
It's relatively common.
It should be, they should have found it already. But anyway, so she has Giardia, so we have her on an antibiotic, but we had to wait until Monday, which is today. We just got it today. And, well, Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has Giardia.
Oh, shit.
And now Ela has Giardia.
Shut. For real?
And now I think this morning I had diarrhea.
Oh my God.
What can I do to not get it?
Yeah, I'm trying to, because I'm not trying to get it.
It's extremely ridiculous to get. You have to ingest my poop. Are you planning on that?
Never.
Not really.
So then you're fine.
Okay, so Ethan Klein is trying to self-victimize here when he straight up said this in like a 2-minute long rant on his podcast, just oversharing to the maximum, claiming that his child had contracted a parasite and then going on to elaborate and imply that this had been through eating shit. No, he has no one to blame for this other than himself. Because for one, if this actually happened or anything even remotely approximating this happened, then those kids needed to be checked on. But for two, you also, like, if this wasn't true, if you were, like, telling a joke here or something, as I'm sure he's trying to claim now, why the fuck would you just say this anyway? This isn't funny. Like, there's no reason for you to just say this unless it was true. Boggles the fucking mind. To self-victimize after this is insane. And now he's trying to frame a visit from CPS as if it was like a swatting or something. It's not. Okay, a visit from CPS is like a guy with a clipboard coming to your house to check on the kids. That is not a traumatic experience. That is not swatting. You are not in any danger. What is very interesting about this is that Gila has said afterwards, because these people apparently just cannot stop giving up too much information. She posted a story where she claimed that they are being harassed, which we're going to get into as well, don't you worry. And then said that they called Child Protective Services to our house yesterday and they are now performing an investigation. They would not perform an investigation unless what they saw was bad enough to warrant one, unless they had some sort of suspicion of something more going on. So quite clearly here, if this actually happened, if this Child Protective Services person actually visited, like what they saw was bad enough that they did not just close the case right then and there. They decided to continue. And now Ethan is blaming this on other people. He's trying to say, oh, how dare they report us for this, rather than saying, are we perhaps doing something wrong here that could cause Child Protective Services to think they need to perform an investigation on our children. The idea that they are spewing here is that like one random person called CPS on them and told a lie, which to be clear is obviously not true. Reporting on what Ethan Klein himself said during his podcast wouldn't be lying. And then this CPS officer who visited them saw enough to, according to Healer here, warrant further investigation.
You know what Langley expects.
That is something that is on you guys. It's not on fucking anyone else. For them to try and blame anyone else for this, like they're coming for my kids. No, they're not coming for your kids. No one's coming for your kids. CPS is investigating based on what you yourself said and what they saw in your house when they visited you. This is not because of an internet harassment campaign. This is because of what you said on your stream regarding your kids contracting Giardia. And apparently, according to you yourselves, what Healer said here, they saw enough when they visited you to warrant further investigation. That is all on you. It's not on anyone else. And I certainly hope that if your kids are in danger of health problems, that CPS would at the very least attempt to help you in your parenting so you can stop giving your kids parasites. Thank you. I think that's a pretty basic thing to say. Now, Ethan has also very recently, ironically, spurred harassment campaigns against other people. For example, just yesterday, a member of Ethan's subreddit attempted to contact my family members and find out where they live, which is very interesting. So you can see here, this fella right here said, 1 like, and I will message Bad Empanada's mother on Facebook, and then said where he believes that she lives or my family lives. Interesting. Given that I've never shared anything approximating such information, I wonder how this H3H3 subreddit member got such information and on whose incitement they decided to search for it. Very interesting. Look out for this fella who is proudly wearing Teddy Fresh garb in his photo. He's since deleted his Reddit account. However, this is a very bad thing to do when you live in Australia, as this guy does, given that there is a 6-year prison sentence for doing it. And we'll see how that goes for him. But worse than that, way worse than that, Ethan Klein's fans have been tracking down the family members of a guy who he doxed on his stream and told his fans to harass this guy on his stream. It's been a week since that happened, and a week later, this guy is still reporting that he and his family are getting death threats. For example, he got a death threat from this Ethan Klein fan. This was a comment on his underage sister's Instagram account, which they went and found his underage sister's Instagram account at Ethan's incitement. And the comment says, I know what school your mum works at. Tell her she's not safe. Joe, your brother, started some shit and now your mum is going to pay. Ethan Klein will get her. This was spurred on by Ethan Klein with his crew member, Abdullah Ayad. Abdullah, who said, oh, I know where these people live, while Ethan Klein was doxing them live on stream. And this guy has the nerve to say that him getting a visit from CPS because of things that he factually said on himself, like shit that if it was a normal person, for one, you wouldn't do that shit. That wouldn't happen to you. And for two, the CIA would not be able to torture that information out of you. It's that embarrassing. He just openly overshared it on his podcast. That's obviously, if this CPS visit even happened, if this investigation is happening, what they acted upon, and they clearly saw enough when they visited to warrant not immediately closing the case, given Healer Klein herself said so. So that is a little bit of extra context here. I could go into more stuff, like the fact that Ethan Klein has a long history of defamation and spurring harassment against other people. For example, there was a guy, Patrice Wilson, who was a rather cringeworthy record producer who would go everywhere and try to find child artists who he wanted to find the next big thing and make it rich, and he made cringe music videos and stuff. Ethan Klein called this guy a pedophile for years. He was the guy behind Rebecca Black's Friday, I believe, which is very, very famous. Ethan Klein called that guy a pedophile for years, to the point he tried to kill himself, when what he was guilty of was being a producer of cringe music videos. What happened as a result of this defamation campaign? Well, Patrice was accused of, according to him, being a rapist, being a pedophile. Fantastic. Ethan Klein has a long history of defamation, of targeted harassment against totally random people as well. Ethan's entire MO has been mass targeted harassment of random fucking people for years and years. Some of them are shitty people, some of them aren't. Either way, it's incredibly weird. And what is happening to him is not even remotely that. People are criticizing him on Reddit. And now he's trying to frame a totally warranted CPS visit based on things that he said himself on his podcast, if it even happened, by the way. Obviously, we don't know for sure. He's trying to frame that as like him being a victim or something. It's absolutely absurd. Ethan, you have not faced anything even close to what you have done to others. This is not harassment. It's people criticizing and commentating on the internet content that you yourself put it into the world, the things that you yourself say. He insists that it's false when he just has stuff like that video that we watched sitting there. Let's check out Ethan Klein's fantastic video. He posted on his main channel a video. Stalkers are coming after my children and Reddit is enabling them. I can't wait to check this one out. Let's go.
In my long career on YouTube, I've pretty much seen it all. I've been swatted several times with LAPD help.
He's going to frame himself as a victim here without acknowledging what he has done to dozens of other people, dozens of coordinated harassment campaigns, trying to frame himself as like a massive victim because people on Reddit criticize
helicopters, the street shut down, police with guns drawn up, doing a perimeter around my house. We've also been visited by the FBI 3 times. They were all to warn us of a credible threat against our lives. One time, most recently, he came at 7 a.m. and said, "Do not open any packages until you hear from me, as we have credible bomb threats against you that we found online." I thought I'd seen it all. I knew this content nuke was going to draw a lot of negative attention, seeing how extreme Hassan and his fan base are, and his orderers. But
it's gone that badly that like the supposed career-ending content nuke on Hassan,
lengths to which they've gone to harass us and get revenge for going after their god king Hassan has frankly gone beyond any type of point
Hassan
of civility.
Biker is like leading or inadvertently leading like a mass Reddit harassment campaign against him. That's the narrative here. Let's see how much it is actually backed up by the evidence.
And humanity to the point where they're calling CPS, Child Protective Services, to come to our house and break up our family.
Again, he has no evidence that anyone called CPS. 2, he's trying to say that like CPS would just break up this fucking rich fat millionaire family living in a mansion with no cause, no reason to do so. That's obviously fucking bullshit. He's framing this like you can just call CPS and they will go somewhere and like immediately take the kids away. And that obviously is not what happened. You're not even fucking close. He's framing it like a swatting. It's not that at all. Obviously, you have nothing to fucking worry about here, especially as rich white people with a mansion, unless they had some sort of reason to be there and to suspect that something broader was going on. So he has no evidence that anyone called CPS. He has no evidence that anyone from any of these groups called CPS. He does not know how CPS came to his house. There's no reason at all to go with his narrative here. It's pure narrativization, nor has he provided any evidence that if there was a call to CPS, it was not warranted. Because as we've gone over, the things that he has said on his stream should be bad enough to warrant at least a checkup. By the way, I did not play the rest. Like, there are entire videos.
We're talking about scent attracting flies.
Like, his crew and he have talked about their problems with like their pet excrement constantly on their show over the years.
Do you want to read?
You're talking about scent. If you want to talk about,
maybe read this.
But
if you're
when I got here and I was saying I don't see any flies, I heard some of you guys saying it's here. We're in the control room.
Weird.
It's
I don't leave
everywhere.
fruit in your control room.
It's literally everywhere.
Not anywhere
in the
near
office.
my fruit. Wouldn't they be on my fruit?
Oh my God! I can't believe we've been debating this. Read the Reddit post.
All right, you made me do this, Ethan.
Show it.
God.
You made me do this.
Do you see any flies around my fruit?
I don't think it's just like, oh, I put fruit here and flies.
There's 7 minutes of this.
What's down there, so he'll be walking in for about.
Like, there is more than enough probable cause for at least a CPS visit. And a CPS visit is not the end of the fucking world as he's trying to frame it as. No, is it? Like, he's trying to frame this as like by default something unimaginable and unwarranted. Like, it's unthinkable that these two could ever be bad parents. They could ever do anything wrong as parents. Is that correct? I'd say quite clearly that it's not. It's not incorrect, given the fact that CPS, obviously, given Hila Klein's story, found enough probable cause to warrant further investigation after that visit. And they did not immediately close the case.
On Friday morning, an agent showed up to our house saying that they had received an anonymous tip that our children were crawling around in dog shit, eating
By the way, you should not believe his narrative here. You should not believe his framing of this. He's obviously going to try to frame it as favorable to himself as possible. And do you think that CPS would just act on an anonymous tip from someone who has zero proof that they are connected to you at all? By the way, just want to note here, in California, there are no anonymous tips anymore for CPS. In 2023, California switched to a system of confidential reporting, which requires CPS screeners to ask all callers for information regarding them. So if they say to you that this person was someone close to you, they would have had to give in enough detail to the operator to prove that they were close to you. So his narrative here falls over immediately if you just look into the actual truth. There is no such thing as anonymous CPS calls in California anymore.
Dog shit and contracting diseases. Not only have they...
What he said there is completely in line with what Ethan himself said in his own podcast. You know, CPS do you think they would not look up your podcast if they got a call like this? Or that the person who was calling wouldn't need to provide further information, such as that podcast clip, which aligns more or less with what the person supposedly said there. So, I mean, he needs to just leave this context out for this to even work.
Called CPS on us. Now they're starting to try to call in a 5150 to get me committed. It's really...
A 5150 to get me committed.
Try to call...
We have a bunch of screenshots, 5150, a bunch of random comments. They're trying to call in a 5150 to get me committed. Do you think that you could actually just be committed? Do you think people on the internet saying, this guy's crazy, he should be committed? Do you think that is at all actionable? That is at all serious? This is like a supposed comedian just taking like the obvious fucking people being like, whoa, this guy's crazy. No, look at how this guy's acting and pretending to take it seriously. They're trying to get me committed. If I acted like Ethan Klein, every time that someone called me crazy or hinted at like, oh, you should be in a mental asylum, I would be like, oh, you want me to be committed by the police? I mean, yeah, the top right photo literally says joking. Like, this is your evidence.
Committed. It's really gone on too far, and at this point, I'm ready to take no prisoners.
Your evidence is that people are calling you crazy on Reddit.
Take the gloves off and call out everybody who needs to be called out. The thing is,
oh yeah, man,
children,
they haven't been doing that already.
Crossed, they cannot be walked back. Once my kids are involved, when people are targeting my children, harassing.
Your kids were involved. You talk about your kids. You overshare constantly. You need to stop. Why did you even talk about this in the first place? No one needed to know that your kid had, according to you, had giardia. Nor did they need to know that you believe that it was contracted through fecal ingestion. You could have not said that.
My children, there's no length that I won't go to take care of this. And I think that's something that
I mean, you were already doing this same shit before. What happened here is really just the content nuke went so fucking badly for him that he's trying to garner sympathy by creating this imagined mass harassment campaign. He's doing exactly what he would always accuse others of doing. Except in those cases, he would go against these random people and just organize targeted harassment against them for basically no reason at all. In this case, it's just people criticizing him, and he's calling that targeted harassment.
Parent can relate to. All these people, incidentally, who are promoting this type of insanity are, in fact, childless and will likely remain that way. The CPS agent showed up and...
If only we had children, then we could understand. Ranting about your children getting a parasite on stream.
Started asking us all kinds of questions like, who feeds the kids? Who takes care of the kids? What do you do to the kids when you get angry? How do the kids sleep? Do the kids have toys? Is that what happens when you get mad? Or what happens when your kids get mad? He walked around the house. He looked in our refrigerator.
So he asked you the questions that they ask everyone when they visit. Oh,
walked all around looking for dog shit, apparently. Although when he showed up immediately, he said, wow, this place is clean. Our 3 and 5-year-old boys were at school.
That definitely happened.
Well, our 8-month-old is upstairs sleeping when he visits, and he says, I need to go upstairs and look at your infant visibly to see him and confirm he's okay. Well, he's napping in his crib. He goes upstairs to look around the house, to snoop around. He investigates Sonny, our youngest, wakes him up from his nap, and even though he woke him up during his nap, he was greeted immediately, actually, by a smile, because Sonny is probably the happiest baby in the entire world. He smiles at everybody. His name is Sonny because he is just a ray of sunshine. He just gave him a big smile. I mean, he's just the sweetest kid in the world. So
look how sweet these kids are. Never mind the clip where you said that this kid contracted giardia.
We went back downstairs to continue the conversation, at which point he said something that both me and Hila had us both saying abso-fucking-lutely not. He said he was going to go to the children's school to interrogate them there. And we both said, you are absolutely not going to ever go to their school and talk to them.
There is no fucking way that this CPS officer would have taken it to this point unless he saw something in your house that, you know, piqued his interest. He's trying to frame himself as a victim here, like, oh my God, we're being targeted by CPS. What did this guy see in the house that he wanted to actually interview the other children? What the fuck?
That is fucking insane. We agreed that he'll come back to our house and interview our 3- and 5-year-old children at a time when they're at home, so he doesn't need to humiliate them in front of his peers, his teachers, the staff there, and needlessly stigmatize them. My young 3- and 5-year-old children, who are sweet and innocent as can be, have not yet been interrogated by a CPS agent, but that is due to happen on Wednesday. He also spoke to our nanny, our housekeeper. He's called the pediatrician that takes care of.
This is pretty fucking serious. Like, this does not just happen based on nothing, Ethan. They do not take an investigation to this level because you're a poor little victim who got falsely attacked or something. If this was a false call based on nothing, at most you would have gotten a visit and the officer would have been like, oh fuck, yeah, this was nothing, see ya. What happened here? This is so much worse than you are trying to frame it as. This is, if anything, a warranted investigation, because clearly on the visit the guy saw enough that he believed that further investigation was necessary.
For the kids, he talked to them.
How are you, like, if that's the case, if a CPS officer came to your house and thought that what he saw was bad enough that further investigation was necessary, you aren't a fucking victim here. Something clearly needs to be done to get you to take better care of your kids in that case.
Pretty much sifted through every angle of our life having to do with our kids in an extremely violating, insulting, unbelievable way. Just a complete breach of privacy and inhumanity.
Oh, how are you possibly not understanding the broader implications of this?
That it's like you can't believe that you, as somebody who has done nothing wrong, has taken care of your kids, to be subject.
According to you, yeah, sure. According to you, you've done nothing wrong. Great. The evidence for this is what? Nothing. There's a lot more evidence that we should be suspicious than not.
To this forcible investigation because of some fucking freaks online called Anon.
No, this cannot happen because of some freaks online, okay? This is not like swatting. This can't happen. Investigation can't get to this level just because of some person online calling CPS and lying, especially after the CPS officer has already been there. They have clearly seen more than what he's letting on.
Anonymously, to say that our kids are crawling around in shit. The immediate question for me was, who did this and how am I going to hold them accountable? It didn't take me long to catch the trail of the obvious suspect, which is the work of a subreddit dedicated to harassing me, my family.
Dedicated to harassing you. It's a subreddit that is dedicated to watching your podcast and like saying that they don't like it and stuff. Criticizing it. It's not fucking harassment, dumbass.
Their families too, frankly, known as Snark. H3 Snark is the place that they originated. If you don't know what Snark is, it's this growing phenomenon of communities dedicated essentially to destroy someone's life, picking it apart, harassing.
Now, I don't know about I'm not up with the law or something, but I'm pretty sure this guy is the origin of like the original so-called Snark community, which was actually against Trisha Paytas, who I don't know anything about and I don't want to know anything about, who as far as I know is Healer's sister-in-law and his sister-in-law as well, I guess. And it got to the point with her where she was begging them to please do something about it, and they just told her, I don't care, you deserve it. And now, like, something not even remotely that bad. Like, this is not harassment or anything. This is just people criticizing you, criticizing things that you openly share on your live stream, and you're trying to frame that as, like, harassment that you were a victim of. Here's what would be harassment. Harassment would be like post about how people should like find you in real life and like berate you or something. Harassment would be like people posting pictures of your house or something, or like sending you threatening DMs or something. Harassment is not saying like on a subreddit, Ethan Klein is a poo-poo head because he said this thing on his podcast. Harassment is not criticizing you for things that you said publicly on your show where you're a public figure. This is not harassment, dude. It's especially not harassment when it's people talking about you rather than to you. Big distinction there. Provided they aren't saying things that could get unwarranted action be taken against you by other parties, like doxing and stuff like that. It's totally warranted for them to critique you for shit that you say on the internet. You're a public figure. What the fuck do you expect? You go live on a podcast and you say, my kid contracted Giardia, and then you go on to say, when someone asks how you get it, oh, you get it from eating poop. When someone sees that and they're like, wait, his kid ate dog shit and got a parasite? You have no one to fucking blame for that but yourself. They're merely critiquing you for something that you said on your stream. So this entire narrative of harassment is fucking bullshit. If you are actually getting harassed by anyone within this community, you can't claim that it is like to blame on the entire community unless you have any proof that they actually spurred this person who's doing so, which you never fucking do, nor do you ever provide any proof of actual harassment. Just like people leaving mean comments or critiquing shit that you say. It's always that.
Them and just trying to ruin their life. It's something that's become quite common on the internet, and something that Reddit, who is the main host of such
activity, they're not trying to ruin your life. Come on, no one gives
a blind eye to. Take, for example, right here, H3H3_, which is the new snark page. The top post on this page is from somebody named Bad Empanada, which we'll learn more about.
Yes.
It says Bad Empanada with another banger. Quote, "You're the best parents I've ever seen," said house slave Abdullah Ayad.
Is this supposed to be like evidence of harassment?
After CPS visited them because their kids contracted parasites from dog feces.
That's literally, their kids contracted parasites from dog feces. Yeah, I showed a clip where you had said that. True.
Clients frequently advocate for genocide of Arabs while Ayad sits obediently in silence. He is a tame domestic animal. This is just literally, anyone of a normal disposition can see plainly how fucking insane this is. It has 400
Why is it insane?
3 hours.
Are you going to explain why it's insane? Okay, here's why it's not insane. For one, CPS was factually visited Ethan Klein because Ethan Klein factually said on his podcast that his kids had contracted a parasite from what he said was ingesting dog shit. This was factually said. Two, now I don't particularly care about American sensibilities regarding the term house slave because what house slave means is someone who is of an oppressed group, yet who betrays other members of that group in order to maintain their own position within the social hierarchy. That is precisely what he does. 100% true. This guy sits there while Ethan Klein does Zionist propaganda and says nothing. He's paid by Ethan Klein to like praise him and talk about how awesome and cool he is. Here's what he said to Ethan Klein, like the most fucking gushing crap you'll ever see anyone see.
I know it doesn't need to be said, but you guys are truly the best parents I think I've ever seen. I know clearly this doesn't need to be said, but
listen, thank you. I appreciate you saying that.
So yeah, that's why I called him a house slave. Now, house slave is a term that is very much like capo. It is a term of modern relevance, very much modern relevance. And yeah, calling him a house slave or a capo is very accurate. Ethan Klein in the past has called Jews who support Palestine, he's called them capos. He said that Jewish Voice for Peace are capos. House slave is functionally the exact same term as capo. It's like a collaborator who betrays other people in their group in order to obtain personal benefit. In this case, he is paid by Ethan Klein to be a yes man in order to obtain personal benefit at the expense of other members of his group, Arabs. 100% true and warranted. So like Ethan Klein cannot explain why it's wrong for me to say that. He just says any normal person will find this bad. Why? How? Explain. He cannot. Is that really the best example that you got of you being like harassed by this subreddit? Is that like me insulting one of your crew members for completely valid reasons? Here is a clip of Ethan Klein comparing Jewish Voice for Peace to capos.
There was Jewish collaborators with fucking Nazis.
Ethan, don't do that, please. Don't say that the Jews' Voice for Peace are akin to capos. Like that's...
I'm telling you that the mere existence of Jewish voices it's not a leg to stand on. I don't understand that.
But
of course, there's going to be
but the most important component here,
it's like you're tokenizing a few Israelis. It seems silly.
Okay. So, Ethan Klein's like fake outrage at me calling this guy a collaborator is obviously performative bullshit. This guy is just such a slimy little snake, isn't he? One second he'll call Jews who are pro-Palestine capos, and next second he's waxing lyrical about being outraged about me calling this guy a house slave, which is functionally the exact same term. And I ended it calling him a tame domestic animal, which is what he fucking is. They have tamed this guy. They have house-trained A.B. Ayad better than they ever trained their fucking dogs. This guy sits there obediently doing whatever they want him to do for a paycheck. Whatever his own views are, I'm sure that they are not in line with Ethan Klein's, but he just sits there, takes home whatever they pay him the whole time, and says nothing as they do Zionist propaganda, as they invade his own country, Lebanon, as well, as Israel has invaded his own country, Lebanon. So yeah, there's nothing crazy or wild about that story. It's insulting for sure, but to call that like harassment or anything, it's not fucking normal to insult people. You're allowed to insult people, Ethan. Calling them a collaborator is an opinion. Using terms like house slave or capo is an opinion, one that you yourself have expressed in the past. You obviously don't think it's wrong. It's so fucking hilarious that he's pretending that it is now.
The active sub of absolutely deranged individuals.
The deranged individual.
Is that the subreddit
is the most deranged thing ever.
Community is being legitimized by creators such as Hassan, such as Denim, such as Mike from PA, and all these leftist commentators who think they can get one up on me by sicking and participating and legitimizing the most crazed psychopaths on the internet.
What's the most crazed psychopath?
I bring this to YouTube because I respect the H3 snark. And
this guy is Adam McIntyre. Hila Klein just said that Adam McIntyre should be disappeared, which is a reference to the Israeli practice of disappearing Palestinians who are then never seen again and are presumed dead. Just want to note that. This is the person who Ethan is trying to claim is like targeting him and attacking him. Hila Klein literally said on their podcast that he should be disappeared. unironically. There's a clip for like all of this. Like, I don't understand how he just has to hide this shit from his viewers. Like, just watch. They say this shit on their podcast so brazenly.
Especially who's like on record being like, I respect Snark.
Adam McIntyre needs to just like disappear. Piece of shit, like of the lowest order.
I mean, they should have bleeped this one out with the 30-second thing that they have that gets rid of stuff. I don't know why they didn't. So yeah.
Believe that they're being silenced. And I saw on the H3 Snark that Ethan had uploaded Instagram stories about Mika's rhetoric. It says,
and it's about the H3 Snark subreddit. For more than a year now, Ethan has been talking about it and saying how toxic this place is, how they promote harassment, doxing, stalking, and why it should be banned.
But I believe these Snark subreddits on Reddit should be banned. It's literally fostering the most psychopathic. It encourages harassment, doxing, stalking. It's just...
He doesn't provide evidence for it, obviously. Dude, the reason why he's doing this is because this is all your paranoid delusions. None of what you say about this subreddit is actually happening. It's people criticizing you. It's people who don't like your content, who think you're stupid, criticizing you, which they are perfectly within their right to do. This happens to every creator, more or less. What do you fucking expect? That you were just going to be able to do like Zionist propaganda fucking day in, day out, week in, week out with no pushback from anyone. You claim that it's like doxing, you claim that it's like harassment, and you show no evidence of this. At best, what you have are like individuals.
This is fine as long as it's not.
At best, what you can point to is like a couple of individuals who have harassed you. You can't actually point to the subreddits doing so.
The Destiny subreddit.
I think it's time to hold all of them accountable. Here, for example, is Denims, aka Hassan Waiting Room, watching Bad Empanada talk about the state of our house and how we take care of our kids. Let's take a look.
He lets his dogs shit all over his mansion, and he just leaves the shit on the floor, something that is probably related to the fact that his former housekeeper is suing him for a number of different reasons. Yeah. So everything said here is true. Assume he doesn't actually have a housekeeper anymore. I mean, we already played the clip showing this. Perhaps he lost his extra housekeeper. So now the house is just like covered in dog shit. And he has kids, and his kids like crawl into the dog shit, and God forbid, I don't know what they do with it. He himself said that his kid is crawling everywhere and putting everything in his or her mouth. How do you possibly play this after you said that on your podcast, acting like what I'm saying isn't true? If they eat it, or if it's just from like contact with it with their hands or something. But they contracted a parasite that I had previously never heard of in my life called Giardia from the dog shit that is all over his house.
Dude, how is it that like maybe once a week I look into what Ethan Klein's been up to, and every time
how is this wrong? How is this bad? It's just fundamentally true.
More and more terrible shit.
And he just plays shit for his dumb fuck audience that they won't question at all.
This is where Ethan tells a story about his family getting Giardia.
We already have Mode Mondays. Now we have Shit Saturdays.
Also, this is not a joking matter, by the way. It can be very severe.
I love how he left the fucking Peter Griffin voice line in. That's awesome.
I mean, much like many other illnesses, it's very, very, very dangerous when infants get the same sicknesses that adults get. There are lots of things that you can get as an adult. You're totally fine. You'll be A-okay. No problem. A child, a small infant that has no immune system, shouldn't be catching anything.
Now, at this point, as he continues, notice the chat is almost in complete universal agreement. Call CPS. Call child endangerment. CPS, social services.
Who fucking cares? It doesn't matter what the chat did, if any of them did it. It does not matter. Because quite clearly, one, what you said yourself on your stream warranted a visit from CPS. Two, what the CPS officer saw in your house warrants a further investigation because he's continuing his investigation. So, yeah, you're blaming these people like, did they call CPS? This is not proof of calling fucking CPS, obviously. Just like it's not fucking proof of anything when people in your community say, oh, you need to call the cops on Bad Empanada. Like, they do this all the time. Ethan Klein has at multiple times implied that, like, I am wanted in multiple countries. For what? We don't know. But his fucking fans are constantly like, Bad Empanada needs to be arrested. Bad Empanada needs to be committed to a mental institution, all this sort of thing. And I guarantee you they have called the cops and stuff like that. They have trying their best to make something happen. But nothing's happened, obviously, because there's no fucking basis for it. Do you know why Ethan Klein got a visit from CPS? Because there is an actual basis for it. Random people making bullshit calls is rarely considered some sort of real basis for any real action by like any government fucking agency. The one exception is like swatting attempts of active shooters in America that tends to work the most. But this is not that at all, obviously. So spare us the victim narrative. If CPS was called, it was warranted, and clearly the CPS themselves consider an investigation to be warranted given that they have not stopped. Self-victimization. How about instead of self-victimization, use some introspection and ask yourself, why does CPS think that more investigation is warranted?
Yes, that's child endangerment. Okay, if his kids have Giardia, they need to be taken away. Actual worst father ever, etc., etc. I'll let the chat play for you, but you can see just how crazy this community is. And once again, this is Denim's chat. From the first, the call came on.
Oh, boo fucking who, the self-victimization. Your community does this to everyone else. So much worse. None of this is evidence of fucking anything, and you obviously know it. Please try to fucking sue her for this. Where's it gonna go? Nowhere. Nowhere. It's not illegal to tip CPS off about something.
The third.
No wonder his house is covered in dog shit, and his neglected children raised by nannies have contracted parasites previously unknown to science from the... I wonder why he skipped over all of this, because everything that I said in this story, which by the way...
Notice how he never... This is what Ethan Klein always does. He always ignores the actual content of what he is responding to pick out a few things and try to frame his enemies as like crazy psychopath killers. He does this with me every time. He never actually responds to the substance. Instead, he like picks out like a couple of things where I say things that are completely warranted, but that are like personal attacks on him. And he ignores the substance, which is me talking about the actual issues and refuting him on that. Every fucking time, he's just like, can you believe this guy said that my kids crawl around in dog shit? Something that I implied myself on my podcast. And he ignores like the 50 minutes of the rest of the video where I debunked his bullshit. Every time it's the same.
Compiled by his crew.
Like, no wonder this motherfucker's always sick. Yeah, it all makes sense now.
By the way, these people can't keep their talking points straight. On one hand, it's we don't raise our kids and our house is just run by nannies and housekeepers. But on the other hand, we also keep our house so dirty that there's dog shit everywhere. I mean, what are the housekeepers and nannies doing?
Well, so the housekeeper, as has been reported in multiple places, the housekeeper filed a lawsuit against you a month ago, alleging that she was fired 2 days after she asked for some time off to get and recover from hernia surgery. So that's where the housekeeper has gone. That's what's happened here. The question is very easily answered. At least we suspect the housekeeper is gone, given the lawsuit.
That's why he doesn't care about Palestinian children when he is neglecting his own. How is this happening? How is it happening? How is this happening?
I have a 10-month-old, a 5-year-old, and a 3-year-old who are in school. Of course, I'm sick all the time. Once again, these childless people pretend that this is uncommon when, of course, anybody with any sense who's being honest. The thing is, these people are knowingly lying. They know that they're lying.
Who's knowingly lying? Who? Which specific claim is a lie?
It makes no sense what they're saying, but they do it anyway. Because, as you can see in the chat, and Denims endorses this clearly, as you can see, she's not moderating this at all. And it's pretty much 100% of the comments saying call CPS on them. Their kid should be taken away. That she wants. She believes that it's justified to break up our family. This disgusting fucking human being.
She never said anything like that herself, obviously. If you could hold people accountable for what their chat says or what their subreddits say, you'd be in fucking jail, Ethan. Your fans have threatened my family. Your fans have fucking tracked down the minor sisters of people you've harassed on your stream. They've tracked them down. They've tracked down their place where they go to school. They've threatened them. They've said they're going to kill them and their parents. So, cry me a fucking river. Her chat, like, saying, oh, we're going to call CPS. Oh, someone should call CPS. Is not even remotely like that. In fact, a CPS call is warranted.
Course by Hassan and the entire left community on Twitch, who is protected and elevated by Twitch, is on her platform right now advocating for our children to be forcibly removed from us by Child Protective.
If your children are taken away after a CPS investigation, then clearly it would be warranted, Ethan, because you are not telling us what they found.
Services. Denim is such an evil...
And for one, why, I have to ask, why the fuck would CPS take kids away after this? Wouldn't CPS simply tell you, hey, you need to be cleaner. You need to clean up the house. You need to take better care of your kids. I don't think they would immediately go to taking them away anyway. Like, going to that immediately, just hysteria. It's like people talk about how terrified they are of filing their taxes wrong. And this is a great analogy because it's about as consequential as that. What happens when you file your taxes wrong is you get a notice saying, hey, you owe us money, send us the money, please. And you pay the money and everything's fine. Dude, this is nowhere near as like apocalyptic as he's framing it. He's trying to make it out like he got swatted or something like that. It's not like that at all. If there's an investigation going by CPS, clearly they saw something that warrants investigation. And the most likely outcome of this, if they do find that there is enough wrong to take action, is that they would tell them, clean up your house better. We're going to come back in a month and see how things are going. That's it. They're not going to just take your fucking kids away. Like, give us a fucking break. When they take the kids away, if it's like literal like fucking child abuse, like physical abuse and stuff like that, not this.
Person, she is not responsible enough to have a platform. She should not be allowed to broadcast videos.
You're kidding me. Let's show you Ethan Klein on his fucking podcast just bringing up the Instagram of people's mothers and ordering his fans to go and attack them. And this person shouldn't, for watching a video which accurately described what you said on your own podcast, she should not have a platform. Give me a fucking break, Ethan. Give us a break. So this is Ethan Klein intentionally doxing a random guy who commented a negative thing on Healing Klein's Instagram.
Glad that phase, he said, I'm glad that phase is behind me. Enjoy hell, Joe Coop said. Sorry, David.
He's like, this is his name, this is where he lives, this is his parents. Take a look, everyone.
There he is, if anyone, let's see if I know, can identify him at all.
People say,
Let's see if I can identify him at all.
I need to let go of the whole Ethan Klein thing. Fuck you. This was sent to my sister today. She's 16 years old. These have not stopped. They haven't slowed down. This is the type of shit my family receives every single day. So shout out to Ethan Klein that my mom, who is an art teacher at an impoverished public school, has to deal with this shit. You are truly the morally superior YouTuber.
So who should not have a platform? Guy who incites his audience to attack random Instagram commenters for calling Healer Klein a Nazi, who gets their family and their minor sisters harassed by their fan base. Or people who said in the chat, CPS should be called because of what Ethan Klein himself said about what happened to his kids on his own podcast. Something that is legitimately warranted if it's true. Which again, is it true? Well, I would say given that Ethan Klein himself said on his podcast, it might be. But one of these things is clearly warranted. The other thing is someone being actually irresponsible with their platform.
Ever again. Now you might wonder, what is it they're referring to? On the podcast, I was telling a story about we adopted a new dog about a month ago, and she was having diarrhea, which ended up being a extremely common stomach parasite that causes diarrhea. It's extremely common, and it's very easy to address. In fact, Ducky, our Yorkie, when we got him as a puppy, also had Giardia, and we treated him the same way. Let's see what I said about it. And Olive has Giardia, which is a bacterial infection in the intestines that makes you have diarrhea.
And Olive has this?
Olive has this, yeah. She came to us with it. Okay. She had diarrhea, and
oh, baby.
Ducky came to us with that too. So she has Giardia, so we have her on an antibiotic, but we had to wait until Monday, which is today. We just got it today. Sonny's crawling around.
This disrespectful IRL streamer is in complete denial that he ruined his own life. I mean, it's so bad that he doesn't even understand the world of trouble he's actually in. Things have just got so bad for this guy that he is now promising to go back to harassing people in public while his trial is ongoing because he no longer cares, I guess.
If y'all want chaos, let me be your conduit. Let me be your bastion of the evil. If you want to see anarchy, if you're an anarchist and you want somebody that is going to crash out with no remorse, with no sense of self-worth, with no sense of self-preservation, I will be your man.
As if you think he couldn't do anything dumber, doing this during his ongoing criminal trial. He surprises us yet again. So obviously, we're talking about the IRL streamer Johnny Smalley, who's recently been held in Korea for months after streaming himself commit multiple felonies in Korea for donations and attention. This has obviously backfired a bunch against him because he's his own star witness against himself. Currently, he's facing several charges, some of which he's already pleaded guilty to, which I've already covered here on this channel since I flew out to South Korea for his trial. And going into that trial, I don't know why, but I thought maybe, just maybe he would be respectful and played a little bit smart for, a better shot at a lighter sentence. But I was so incredibly wrong. I mean, the dude showed up over an hour late to his own trial, still drunk, because he decided to live stream drunk just hours before he had to wake up for his early morning trial. But as you guys know from watching my previous video, the trial couldn't have gone worse for him. He made an absolute terrible impression on the judge, and he accidentally leaked new charges against himself while he was drunk the night before. And I guess, as if things couldn't get more ironic, his case number ends with 666. So I don't know if that's intentional or not, but that's a wild coincidence. But either way, he for some reason thinks the trial went great for him and that he'll only get a slap on the wrist.
You're the one who's gonna look so dumb when I don't get any jail time or anything. I'm gonna laugh like a villain. Look, I did go there and recognize all the charges. I said I was guilty. I did say all this because it's just gonna be a fine. What the? I'm just gonna pay and leave, bro. Like you can't go to jail for this. You can't. Like you literally cannot.
Yeah, I was there. Things really did not go his way. How does he not realize? Since he pleaded guilty to multiple charges, he will now be convicted as a felon there. And he will now be charged as a repeat offender for his next case, which is a way more serious charge. And also, every clip that we're going to watch from today's video he will only make things infinitely worse for himself as each clip goes by. Because I keep saying this guy somehow always finds the dumbest way possible to react to every situation that he's in. It's like he's trying to go for a maximum sentence for all of his charges here. And the prosecutors and judge will see all of these videos here. I mean, now even the Korean media is calling for a harsh punishment for him. So there's a lot of pressure for this guy not to walk. Then of course, he's his own star witness in making everything worse for himself. As he even confirmed in this video, what we observed in the trial was true. He was indeed drunk.
Hank is saying like long live China, like that, but bro, I'm slurring. I'm drunk.
This guy just consistently removes any plausible deniability from his own trial. But he did a breakdown where he talked about his side of the trial, and this is where we learned how delusional this dude really is.
I'm gonna give you guys the post-trial breakdown. We have all this news right here from Korean and other sources. I want you guys to send me in the Discord right now to react to. I'm gonna give you the whole real, unadulterated, true story, because I have footage from the court that y'all haven't seen. I got footage from the court that y'all don't know about. They're claiming that like I came in and I was blindsided by the fact that I had a new charge and was like sitting in the wrong place and was nervous. This was a breeze, and the only reason I'm ready to start going live again, because honestly I have no fear. Like, that's really, these people are clout chasing off my name so badly. Like look at it. I got these these are from Pakistan saying I arrived late and hungover. Okay, they're not lying about that part. I'll give you that. I was late to the court by like an hour. I was hungover. I'm gonna be honest about that. It wasn't really that big of a deal. It wasn't really that big of a deal.
Okay. Everything you did in court signals to the judge that you don't care, nor respect them. You're doing nothing to favor any lighter sentence for yourself. But let's hear this full truth here.
You know, I showed up drunk. I showed up happy. Like, the charges that they have me put on, the charges that they have me for are such minor, minuscule charges. It's obstruction of, like, bro, spilling a cup of noodles, carrying a fish. But they got me for, like, spilling a cup of noodles. They got me for carrying a stinky fish. They got me for some, bro, like, this is, you can't go to jail for that in any country. But the reason I've been quiet is I didn't want to really feed the trolls. I didn't really want to feed like this energy of these just lying and making up all this bullshit about me.
Okay, so why would you risk extending your sentences by acting like a complete moron? It's also everything that he's done between these charges that also goes into account for when they're choosing how harsh they're going to be during the sentencing. And it doesn't help that everything he's done basically since he was served with his criminal lawsuit has hurt him more than help him. It just seems like he's still operating like he's in the US. Like, no, most likely you wouldn't get any serious prison time for any of these antics in the US. But in South Korea, the country that's held him in limbo there for over 4 months against his will, clearly they operate differently. So why would you ever act like a moron and test your luck when you really don't have to?
Like, I cannot believe how low life you have to be to fly. And this Tozy made at least 21 videos about me. This made how many videos?
It's cold.
Johnny Somali, he's over. 99 years, he's done. Like, I don't know how people still keep following for this. This made the same videos about me in Israel, Japan, like, and I'm still fine.
The dude claims he's fine, yet this is him right now. As of now, he's a walking case of survivor bias, and it seems like he'll be stuck in Korea for at least the next year. What are you talking about? Still fine. I flew out to cover you being an absolute idiot in court. And yeah, we got some views. Meanwhile, you fly across the world to harass people in public for 40 viewers, and those people want to see you get hurt or arrested. I cover laughably stupid stuff on the internet, so I guess congratulations for being laughably stupid enough times for me to make so many videos on you. But sure, dude, go continue to harass people in Korea and see how that plays out for you in the multiple cases that are coming your way. Because that's exactly what he's planning, even though he has these ongoing trials.
If y'all give me the support and the donations and the love, the power chats, the crypto donation, I'm ready, bro. If y'all want chaos, let me be your conduit. Let me be your bastion of the evil. If you want to see anarchy, if you're an anarchist and you want somebody that is going to crash out with no remorse,
he doesn't know what anarchy is.
Sense of self-worth, with no sense of self-preservation, I will be your man. I'm building up the Johnny Somali Pirates.
I mean, this absolute moron just made it extremely clear to the prosecutor and the judge that if he is not locked up, he will continue to harass civilians and businesses on the street for profit. And if that statement isn't bad enough, apparently he's itching to crash out.
I'm ready to crash out. Do you know how long it's been since I crashed out? I'm itching. I'm itching. And you're not gonna understand, ABZ's here. I could take a train to ABZ in 30 minutes right now. Shut his down. And shut that pepper spray and everything right now. I can go shut ABZ down right now.
The only thing he's going to do here is rack up more charges. I mean, this is honestly some David Goggins level commitment to being a full-blown moron. This is exactly why you need to love your kids, so they don't end up dedicating their lives to harassing strangers on the street for profit. But he did go on to talk about why he pleaded guilty.
Why I pled guilty 2 days ago or yesterday? It's because, bro, do you think I want to sit in this country any longer? Bro, if they got you for some, bro, I'm telling you, everything I pled guilty yesterday is like $50 fines, $100 fines. Playing music on a bus, spilling a cup of noodles, carrying a, bro, they're trying to charge me for carrying a dead fish and saying, do you want to eat fish? It's in quotations on the indictment. I have the indictment right here. It says you told someone, do you want to eat fish? In what country is that a charge? But do you think I'm really going to sit there and argue with the judge over a $100 fine? I'm guilty, so what? I'll pay it. I'm out. It's so stupid. Yeah, they think this is, the police don't joke. I know in Japan they don't have sarcasm, but really in Korea, the police have no sarcasm. The girl told me, why did you say you're part of a criminal organization called FT and CX if you're not a part of it? Why did you say that? And I said, you know what I mean? I said, you gotta ask them. You gotta ask the leaders. They really are onto this. They think it's not a game.
Dude, it's hard to understand sarcasm when there's a language barrier and they're not familiar with you. And being sarcastic to someone who has your freedom in their hands, that's definitely not the bright thing to do.
Whenever they showed me on the camera, when they showed me on the, I'm gonna take the headphones on because you're not even reacting yet. When they put the camera on me, like on that paparazzi, like purple walk they do in Japan, the detective was so angry. He's like, why did you smile at the cameras? Why did you smile at the cameras? In Asia, they really don't like this. It's like a saving face thing. Like this is like the worst you can do. Like this, they tweak the f out.
So why are you doing this again? When, yet again, your freedom is in their hands. You're also providing the prosecutor and the judge with the information that you're extremely aware and intentional with your actions. But I guess this like false sense of security is based on what he found from another case of a woman getting 2 years for obstruction of business for crashing her car into a convenience store.
She drove her car into the convenience store. Took a car and crashed into the convenience store and beat up the convenience worker, destroyed the whole store, like literally attempted murder, bro. Like she did this and she got 2 years. She got 2 years because Korea is a woman in a feminist society. Whatever the feminism buff is the American passport, US citizen buff. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I got the same buff. The same buff as her.
Honestly, I feel like the American part is kind of a debuff in your situation. Also, I would put my money on that she was respectful and remorseful in court, and definitely not showing up late, drunk, and being racist towards the judge and prosecutors. So they are very different cases, and he has multiple charges pending, which stack with each other.
It's like that meme. Nothing ever happens. That's what I'm trying to tell these. Nothing ever happens. I'm telling these to lower their expectations. Yes, you hate me, you don't like me. I don't give a if you like me or not. But don't put this, oh, the karma's gonna get him, some shit's gonna get him, because you're gonna feel left down. You're gonna feel let down, bro.
I guess we'll see how that statement ages. But he had a lot to say about the creator showing up to the trial, but I'll focus on what was about me.
So the thing is, we just got out of the trial. It went absolutely terrible for Johnny because
absolutely terrible. It was a 5-minute long trial. They just said, what's your name? What's your address? What's your occupation?
Come back April 9th. Don't be late next time.
Okay, well, that's simplifying things a little bit too much. It was a little over 10 minutes, and in that short amount of time, you disrespected the judge, the prosecutors, and pled guilty for 3 charges. One of those charges included a felony, and you have more charges coming your way, and seemingly a separate case where you will now be tried as a repeat offender. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't say that went well for you. But in frustration, he then continues to disrespect the judge.
Essentially, he got in trouble for, number 1, wearing the hat.
I didn't get in trouble. I don't speak Korean. Said take the hat off. I don't know what these guys said. Said take the hat off. I don't know what the. Someone told me to take the hat off. I took it off. He was carrying a water bottle. Is that a like what like, bro? Like they take the most little and try to make it like they told him to take the hat off. Like, well, what? Like, what are you talking about?
How stupid do you have to be? I mean, like, what do you mean talking the most little shit? I went there to report exactly what happened within those closed doors. So I'm walking everyone through from start to finish of what happened in that trial. Does it bother me that he had a water bottle? No, not at all. But at the time of this stream, no one knew exactly what happened in that courtroom except for the people that were inside the courtroom, which is why as soon as the trial was over, I needed to get out of the building so I could go live for you guys. I tried to go live outside the courthouse, but my 4G connection was not good enough. So we then went to the nearby Starbucks and went live.
4 charges against him, but only 3 of them were addressed today.
Okay.
The 4th charge, which he just discovered about,
How did I just discover about it? I can pull out the paper with the date on it that proves and show it to this camera that I knew about every single charge. They just make up. He didn't know. He didn't know. You didn't know.
Dude, we were there. This is why your next hearing is April 9th, because your lawyer needed time to review the new charge before you entered a plea.
He's been playing his cards in the worst way possible.
What worst way? I didn't do anything. Like, I haven't played any cards. Like, I'm not playing any cards. I'm just waiting for it to be over. But I'm just going to go. Listen, I'm going to tell this to these. I'm not locked in Korea. These Koreans are locked in here with me. It's a big difference. It's a big difference. I'm not locked in here. They locked in here with me. I didn't even, bro, if you think I caused chaos when I was going live, like in October and in September, bro, they haven't seen nothing yet.
Dude literally says 1 card, so then he goes ahead and doubles down playing the worst hand possible. Like, if you were in a trial harassing people in public for profit, and then you go home and announce on your live stream that you're just getting started, what happens to you, man. I mean, you're not giving the judge nor prosecutor any reason to go light on you. It's just not going to help your case at all. I mean, even in the US, that would be a dumb idea. But he's still somehow operating like he's in the US and isn't at the mercy of a foreign court system. But I mean, hey, whatever happens will just likely be jaw-droppingly stupid, and he will just yet again make everything worse for himself.
For 5 minutes. I told you he flew from America. Imagine, bro, this flight was 12 hours to sit down for 5 minutes. 600 times the time. You flew 12, 15 hours for that? That's his clothing. Yeah, my God, his suit was too big. He was smiling, and then he stopped smiling. This is journalism?
Yeah, you show up and report what happened. That's journalism. And I will be honest, if this trial was in a place that wasn't on my bucket list, I probably wouldn't have gone. But this just gave me a wonderful excuse to go explore Seoul for a couple days. So, I mean, I can't complain at all because I had a great time and some of the best food of my life. Dude, I ate at a Michelin star restaurant and I paid for both myself and my editor. And what we got was 2 bowls of
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you good.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Good. Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, I got caught up in a match and went a little longer than I thought it was going.
Never be sorry for. Never be sorry for.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, man?
Pretty good. Yeah, I went out to the auction house today, and they took a lot of the stuff. Pretty good. They did not take the Claude's wife was also a Civil War reenactor, and I threw a bunch of her like Civil War dresses and like what do you call those cages they used to wear?
Oh, like for the skirts? The big,
yeah,
thing. Yeah, I know what you mean.
the hoops.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So I had all this stuff in there, and then the guy's like, "Oh yeah, I can't take that stuff because like generally this is like a male crowd, and they're not gonna."
Yeah, they don't want dresses. I wonder where you can. I wonder where you can. Like wonder where you can unload those.
I don't know. I mean, we know the Civil War, the little, the small group of dudes that Claude knew. I don't know if they were, it sounded like they were more interested in Claude's clothing when they brought it up, but we weren't going to just give that away to them. So, I don't know. They might have an idea, but or we could put it on like eBay or something. So, but it was kind of a pain in the ass because like emptied the whole closet and then brought it out there.
Well, oh well. I mean, it's at least you're getting rid of the guns and such, right?
Yeah, yep. The guns have been moving. I put another one in the mail today. $600 for that yellow boy.
Yellow boy. Oh, that sounds racist.
Yeah, I know. Right? There goes that one.
That's what, dude. It's Friday. I'm in a fantastic mood. Work was fine.
Good.
It was good. I am aimlessly just playing Call of Duty, leveling up. I'm just doing the I've unlocked the key, so I'm just kind of switching to whatever gun I want to use and unlocking dark matter. I think I've gotten most of my snipers. No, not the LR-762. Oh no, wait, no. Wait a second. That doesn't seem right. Oh, okay. Yeah, I actually only got half snipers done. I just finished one of them. But yeah. What are your challenges?
Let's see. I have to get just kills with pistols. I had to get concussion kills, which I just completed.
Nice.
And I got to get 5 kills without dying, and I don't have that.
Ooh, that's also fun. Just one time, right?
Yep.
That's kind of nice. How you been doing on your pistols? What have you been working on, if anything?
The one I'm working on is my 9mm PM.
Is that do you have it leveled up?
It's leveled up. I'm working on the camo.
Oh, okay,
for that
right
one.
on. Sweet.
Yeah, I got to get like switch weapon kills, and I'm doing pretty well. I got 11 of 15.
Oh, nice.
Moving along.
Have you touched the Grekova?
No, but I saw on somebody's best play the other day, somebody was using that thing. Holy shit.
It's the automatic pistol, and it's
that's nice. Yeah.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, especially like if you pull out, because I usually pull out my pistols in a pinch. Like if I run out of ammo and I'm like right in front of somebody, and I'll flip over to the pistol and try to take them out. If you're right up next to somebody and you just pull the trigger with the Grekova, you just rip them to pieces, dude. It's basically a submachine gun.
Yeah, that's what it look like.
Yeah, it's great.
Hey, you should throw us in a match. I got like my XP as actually activated. So I'm like,
we're going.
No, you didn't know. I usually don't even remember to ever turn those on, but I did tonight.
They took out the bullet. I don't know if you're even playing that, the bullet 24/7 playlist. I was doing it a little bit for grinding. It's good for grinding. It's definitely shipment level good for grinding.
They took it out?
They did take it. I think they threw it into the small map mosh pit, but I'm a little disappointed in that. There's no other map.
Yeah, it
like
actually
that,
just slipped my mind.
No, it was.
Yeah, they should always leave that as an option.
They should have one like mindless grind map.
Yeah.
Playlist.
Right. Yeah, I love Shipment.
Shit was great.
All-time faves.
Beauty in the simplicity.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd think it'd be boring, but really, I loved it.
Hey, you know, I'm looking at the time and I'm looking out the window. I'm like, are you getting any storms, or is this supposed to come out later? I thought we were supposed to get nasty weather earlier.
No, I think it's later tonight.
All right, well, be safe out there, man.
Yeah, you too. Do you got a basement in that building?
Yeah, that's where I do my laundry.
Oh, the laundry.
But man, if there's a tornado here in Chicago, like I give up. Yeah, I'm out. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Move to the goddamn moon. Matter.
Domination. Secure the objective.
Yeah, the whole time I lived in Chicago, I only ended up like in a basement, maybe a couple times.
Take it Alpha.
And I grew up in Joliet. That would give tornadoes regular.
Yeah, I'll bet.
So like if I can't escape, I mean, like that's actually a huge relief, like getting rid of that house, because I was kind of constantly in the fear of like tornado destroying it. Actually, that probably would have been good for me. I probably would have gotten insurance money. I can just could have Chicago and I had to sell the house. Man, why couldn't there have been a tornado?
All objectives locked down. Hold those SOBs back. We're losing Alpha.
I went down for a walk on the lake. What was it? Monday? After work.
TACOM, launch a
So
UAV.
man, it's therapeutic down there.
Did you say you went down to the lake?
Yeah, just that normal that same route that like I took you guys on.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Did you do that today?
That was I did a couple. I think Monday.
Oh.
After work.
We're losing Alpha.
Incoming
Come
lethal.
on, dude. Oh shit.
Securing Charlie.
Oh. How hot did it get in Chicago today?
Pretty nice, pretty hot. Definitely
Yeah.
It was it was pushing 80, bro.
I in my car it said 81 at one point today. I was like, what the fuck?
That's quite nothing.
Literally like literally like a month ago, you know, or so, my car, you know, it was like the coldest day of the year and my car battery died. I'm like, how the hell are we having 81 degrees today?
It's, weather is no, we're through the looking glass as far as weather goes. Who knows what's gonna happen? The sky could just open up and suck us all into it, and like, well, not really any way to see that coming.
Losing B.
And the current government of the United States thinks climate change is fake. Yeah. Not looking to get it. Been a lot of controversy around Trump basically doing a commercial for Tesla outside the White House. Did you see all that?
I didn't. I mean, I caught like a little bit.
Actually, it's you know, I mean, it's like corruption in pure form, but it's also like really sad and pathetic. 'Cause everyone hates Elon, everyone hates Tesla now because he's a fucking Nazi. And like, now I just got the president's basically like, come on, guys, buy Teslas, which in itself, asking us to buy something, in my opinion, and during the current state of the economy, is an insult in itself. It's kind of like, bring down the prices and maybe I'll fucking buy anything. So don't tell me to buy a fucking Elon's Tesla when I can barely afford food. And like, he's taking away my, he's firing a bunch of people. It's like, dude, this is jacked. And then Trump comes out. Everyone should buy a Tesla. I'm getting one. It's beautiful. Great cars. It's all computer.
Get a computer.
It's all computer. Old bitch.
Yeah, he doesn't even drive, which I guessed that, and I was like right, he doesn't even fucking drive.
But honestly, though, I mean, that wasn't even his first time in a Tesla. He's fucking long. He was in a Cybertruck once. It's just for a joke.
Hostile counter UAV established above.
And that's old computer too. So.
Capturing this objective.
Maybe he's never been in one of the cars.
Losing A. Objective captured. Charlie secured.
It's all fake horse shit, and it's corrupt, like in its purest form. It's like it's like the definition of corruption. If they wanted to drain the swamp, but what they did is they took the fresh water and just started dumping swamp water into it. Like we're making a swamp here, baby. We're getting swampy. We are a swamp. We are a living embodiment of corruption / swamp. What I guess. Which what I assume they were talking about, but whatever. It's whatever. I mean, they don't believe in anything except for like anti-woke. If it's woke, it's corrupt. If it's woke, it's illegal. If it's woke, it's gotta go. You know. So they can just be like, say anything and justify it by saying that it's woke, which is completely lost all meaning. Which is like a term that like black people, like the last time leftists used the term woke unironically was probably like 15 years ago, dude. And it was like black people. It's like pretty old. It's like it's like embarrassingly old, and like they won't fucking shut the fuck up about it. Like they own that term. Like they've used it more than any leftist has used the term woke ever. Like in the last few years, they have drained it.
Secure in zone A.
They own that word. The Republicans own the word. Oh, it's their word. They made it up, basically.
I see you. Weaver requesting UAV tasking. We're losing Alpha. They're taking C. Lost A. Taking A. Losing B. They're taking C. Zone Alpha captured. All locations secured. Hold your position.
Hostile sighted.
We lost C. Taking C. Losing
Yeah,
A.
I've switched my lethal go-to spot, and I'm still on the Molotov cocktail right now.
Destroyed.
Just such a brutal lethal. Like if you catch someone just laying on their belly in the corner and you're standing over them, you just like throw like a Molotov on them and just like watch them burn, because it takes a couple seconds for them to die. They gotta get up and try to run away, and like, but they won't make it. You can just sit there and watch it all happen. It's sadistic.
Don't let up.
Here's
Back up. Got a watchdog helo overhead.
Yeah, I should get back to using that.
It's whatever.
A little bit.
I mean, I like a lot of these. I've always loved frag. I love bouncing frags off walls after cooking them. That's always super fun. I love Semtax. I love smacking someone in the face with a Semtax and blowing up. But yeah, I don't know how I got on the Molotov, but it's kind of fun. You can push people out of cover with it. You can, but it's just like, it's the most brutal way to go because it takes so much time. Like you can watch them struggle, try to run and die. It's just brutal. It's kind of fun.
5 by.
Like nothing
Pin
more.
them to the ground with flame.
Yeah, if they're just laying in the corner on their belly, like aiming down sight, you know, you just smash a Molotov cocktail right on them. There's nothing they can do, but they try to run. They have a second of terror. Hey, good job, good match, dude. I'm on the bottom. God damn it! What the fuck? Oh, bro, what the hell happened? What happened? All right, fine. Let me get up next. What the? How did I do so badly? I'm going back.
What were you using?
I was using the goddamn the GPR 91. It's an assault rifle. I didn't think it was that bad. What was that? Hardpoint? I forgot what the game. Domination. I mean, I was playing the objective, but damn, dude, rushed. Are you? You got a vote here? You got a preference?
Oh, I didn't. I wasn't. I was. Red card, I guess.
Red card. Okay. Might be a sign I should switch out my AR. I finished the dark matter on AK-47, the AIMS 85. No, I think the AIMS 85 and AS Vale. AS Vale, I think, is my favorite AR. It's the one that's like most like a submachine gun, or at least the way a submachine gun should be. Submachine guns in this game, I feel like, are not great. I mean, they're fine, but not as good as they used to be. I feel like this game's all about the
I don't know
ARs
what
and
I've done
snipers.
with besides the Tanto. I'm using the Tanto right now, which I like. Okay,
Let 'em have it, Black
I'm
Ops.
all right with it. But,
I'm rocking the as far as SMGs go, the PPS H41.
I've captured the hard point.
the pipsh, as I like to call it.
Yeah, the 41. The sheesh 41.
Hard point locked down.
I just switched to the SMG. I'm not grinding this one.
We're pulling ahead.
I just want to see the people I murder with it see my dark camo in the
The last thing you will see is my camo.
Right.
Hard point is active. Hard point is secure.
I was on that one. Our team's up playing the objective. Love this. 9. You're at the bottom again. What am I doing wrong? What should I switch to? Switch it to.
Hostiles have the hard point.
Snipers.
Hardpoint located.
Enemy shooter.
RTXD deployed. Hardpoint active. Hostiles have captured the hard. Hardpoint locked down. Hostiles have the hard point. RCXD activated.
How do you think Primus got their song to be in this game?
Primus?
Oops. Isn't it you? Is it, or is it? Isn't it Primus?
This is wait in this game.
You want it all, but you can't have it.
No, that's Faith No More.
Oh, Faith No More. Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
That's in this game.
Yeah, it's in the. You know, like by the arena. By the. Sorry, I'm in the middle of killing people. Oh.
No worries.
Oh fuck. Die, 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 die. Come on, fucker. Come on. What? Oh. Oh, I was chasing this guy underneath the thing.
But so there's a part of this map where you can hear that song?
Yeah, it's playing, okay, so to explain, it's by the stadium, and it's like if you're like in the stands of the football stadium or close to the stands,
okay,
and going up like a gangway, it's playing in the gangway.
Okay, I'm going there right now. I gotta check this out.
All right, I'll go there.
Actually,
too.
yeah,
I'll mark it.
That's sweet. Perfect point. We're imperfect.
Yeah, it's like right here.
Watch it.
Hardpoint locked down.
I don't hear anything.
It's sometimes it's a little louder. It wasn't that. It wasn't like
I don't
that
have
loud
music
right there.
on. I'm gonna turn up my
Oh, maybe that's
music sound. Maybe that's that'd be weird.
Okay, I'm there now, and I don't hear it at the moment, so that's weird too. Like, it's not always playing.
I was just about to adjust it, but
yeah, just wait.
That's super. That is weird because they would, one, have to pay copyright for that, and two, it's just kind of like seems like random that it's on, like it's isolated, because that's a pretty popular song. Why would they have it isolated to like a corner of a map that no one ever goes to?
Yeah, no, I've heard it many times. It plays there.
All right, yeah, you let me know when you hear it. I need to hear this. Oh, by the way, I've been shooting the little guys floating around. Every time you shoot them, they drop something. Before I was just
you
like,
told me the other day because I was trying to jump on them. Yeah.
yeah, but the thing, but like I thought that like you had to shoot, and then when they blew up, they dropped all the shit. It's actually each shot they take, they'll drop something. You can shoot it, they'll drop a shamrock. You can grab that. If someone tries to chase you, or if you come back later, you can shoot it again. They'll drop another shamrock. But each fire will drop something. I didn't know that. You may have figured that out, but I didn't know.
I kind of noticed that, but I thought there was like a limit to it. You know what I mean?
There's a
like,
limit. It stops.
It would keep dropping. Okay.
It just stopped. But I thought that like you had to shoot it a bunch of times to get anything out of it at all. But I noticed today that they'll drop one every time you shoot. Which is good to know if you're trying to like.
Bit of a...
I was getting killed a couple times because I was sitting there just shooting. You know, and then someone would come up on me and kill me doing that. So then I started just like, now I'll just like take one shot, grab it, you know, run, see if there's anyone around it, and do, you know, gotta space it out more.
Mm-hmm.
Hardpoint identified.
Oops.
Hardpoint locked down.
Also flashbang.
Huh. Oh, dude. What am I doing?
Watch it.
Shooting at me. I'm like, well, that must be an enemy. Nope.
Get out.
Hardpoint is secure.
I
see you.
I never thought I'd be this good with a sniper rifle.
Don't sweat it.
Remember playing Black Ops 4 back in the day, getting quick scoped by people like, oh my god, I'll never be able to do that. Doing it. And I did.
Get a UAV in the air.
Yeah, pissed me. I'm the guy who was shooting people and they're like, kind of like, oh my god,
RCXD deployed.
never gonna.
Oh, man. I think I was so close to having a best play kill, but...
Oh, play the game?
Yeah, I flubbed the last kill. I didn't know
pretty brutal,
before
man.
that you
Dude,
could
I'm
go
on the
under
bottom
this thing.
again, bro. Why am I... What's happening? This is the game trying to do to me. I'm like murdering a lot. Why am I on the bottom? Seem right. This game is playing me.
Hardpoint locked down.
I just threw a spring mine underneath this stage, you know, and the enemy walked on it and died. And then the character I have says, "They say remote work is the future."
That's pretty good.
It's pretty funny.
God, I hope so. I hope so, operator. Oh, so this guy just saw the same.
We have the edge, but don't get cocky. This shit ain't over. Hostiles have captured the hardpoint. Hardpoint locked down.
You know what? Maybe they only play that Faith No More song once per game, like right the first time you go through that hallway. So listen for it the next time.
Super weird.
Hardpoint located.
I haven't heard it since I mentioned it. Yeah, I've been back here. We're back in right now, and it's not playing.
It's a bizarre thing.
Hardpoint is secure.
But the thing, like, it makes me question it because it's like they would have to pay royalties for it. So why would they use it in a more predominant way instead of just having it like once in a while it'll play in one spot on one map? Are you sure you weren't jamming some Faith No More while playing Call of Duty?
No, absolutely not.
Do you think maybe the radio signal got crossed with your audio?
Google it. I'm sure someone will mention
Hey,
it.
did you Google it?
Not yet.
You Google it. You let me know if it's a real thing. This is your claim.
I know it's a real thing. I've
This
heard
is
it
your
many
claim.
times.
I'll be proved wrong. If you come across the info, if you prove it out.
Alright.
I am wrong. It's fine.
Let's rock.
Truth is more important than anything. Oh shit, it's 8:07, dude. I'm sorry, I kind of ran us late, dude. Are you,
No, it's all good.
Yeah, you going, or what are we doing?
Yeah, I think I am gonna head downstairs.
Cool. How's Rachel doing? She feeling alright?
Yeah, it's Friday.
Friday. Oh, hell yeah, dude. She enjoys Fridays, too. Oh, that.
Making any
The
boom?
weekend.
You guys watching any movies or
The
anything?
weekend.
Did you guys check out The Substance yet?
Not yet. Right. I know. Well, the weekend's been kind of hectic lately.
Oh, yeah, you guys have been
But we
crazy
will.
busy, dude. You guys have been doing a bunch. Do you have any, like, are you going to get a chance to chill this weekend? Or do you have more traveling and selling and shit you got to do?
Well, tomorrow I got to go to a friend's mom's funeral, but that's in the morning. And
That
then,
sucks.
And no, so tonight and tomorrow. Well, I know it is what it is. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, this weekend, luckily, it's out.
You get a little chance
Friday,
to chill.
tonight and tomorrow. Yeah, I'll see if I can convince her.
I'm
Check out
actually
Demi Moore.
I might actually try to see what's playing over at the Alamo Cinema. That's like a movie theater bar place, like right by on Clark, right by Wrigley. I've been just dragging my feet going there, but I should just check out see. I don't know what's playing right now, but I should. I'm definitely. I watched every single one of those short films from that list. I don't know if you checked that out. They're pretty
Not
good.
yet.
They're pretty good. I think we may have already talked about this. Sorry, but I still need to watch Long Legs. That might happen tomorrow. There's a good chance that'll happen tomorrow.
That's what I gotta do. Remind myself to watch those short horror movies.
Yeah, dude. I'm like beyond. I'm almost as behind on movies as I am on books. And like I'm really far behind on books too. I'm behind. I'm just like just gonna die not reading or watching a bunch of shit. Watch and read. It's gonna suck. It sucks, bro.
I got a whole shelf full of books where I'm waiting in the wings patiently for me. I'm a slow reader. But
yeah, I have so much cool shit around. It's a horrible human being who doesn't take advantage of it as much as. Anyway, that's gonna change, man. It's a new Thurgood Jenkins today. Well, have a good night. Tell Rachel I said what's up.
All right.
If I know.
Hey, what was the name?
Go ahead, please.
I just wanted to know what was the name of that map we were just playing where I was saying the Faith No More. Do you know what the name of that map was
that's
called?
Red Card.
Red Card, right.
Yeah, it's the soccer.
All right. Sorry, what were you saying?
I'm pretty sure I was done saying what I was saying, so we are good. I was saying that you should have a fantastic evening.
Okay. Well, you too, man.
Thank you, sir.
We'll look for you tomorrow evening.
I know you're usually pretty busy on the weekends, so I'm not gonna sweat you. But if you want to rock out, hit me up.
Yeah, we'll do. It should work.
Cool. Well,
okay.
Excellent evening. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. See you later.
Later. All right. Now it's just me and you. Now it's just me and you. Oh. What do you want to talk about? Nobody. Let me look at the okay, 0 concurrent viewers, 0 chat rate, 0 views. I get it. I get that. Why would anyone watch this? But you know what? I'm not really trying to create content here. Okay? If there's anyone who ever looks at this, I'm looking for social aspect of this. I want to talk to people. I want to bounce off shit with people. But no one comes in to say anything, so I usually sit silent. But if people were saying something, I would talk to you. Need someone to talk to. Guess what? I need someone to talk to too. So do a little chit chat, and if anyone, I don't care who you are. I don't care what you believe. I don't care if you're a complete piece of shit and we don't agree on anything. I'm down to talk, down to chit chat. I need human contact. 2025 is a motherfucker, y'all. It ain't the way it used to be. I used to hang out with my friends all the time. Now I hang out with nobody. And like, I haven't changed, man. I'm sorry, I haven't. The world's changed, society's changed, technology's changed. And it has resulted in me just being atomized and isolated. And you know what? It could be worse. I know I'm complaining right now about it, but I like playing video games, and that's pretty much what I do. Smoochies. I'll be right back. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. We've been going for 2 hours and 2 hours and 13 minutes and 50 seconds. And we are, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep. It's Friday night, baby. Fuck yeah. Fuck baby. Fuck yeah. Friday, baby. I still got plenty of not plenty. I've got enough surge left to enjoy. I've been good on my moderation. And oh, guess what, chat? I'm gonna start jogging on Monday. So sexy, you're not even gonna fucking be able to stand it. I'm gonna get on stream and I'm gonna take my shirt off and show you my rippling deliciousness. You stand no chance against his power, against my animalistic sexuality. It will make you melt. I've been proven wrong. I'm proven wrong. The best bit of Black Ops 6 so far? Question mark. Weirdly, I think it's got something to do with Faith No More. I just got this article from Video Games 24/7. I know this website. A second. You know what? Let's bring back. What were we? Tozy. We're I'm not Johnny Somali. Let's bring it back to this. Some serious shit.
Hand-cut noodles and this like beef broth with beef, and then 2 orders of mandu, which I think are like it's like Korean dumplings essentially, and it was all for like $34. Hands down, top 3 noodle places I've had in my life. And then on top of that, like the people there are just amazing. I don't understand why someone like him would just show up and disrespect them for profit. Either way, life is good, and I'm just happy I got a reason to go visit South Korea.
Okay, so we have the 2 misdemeanors, which number 1, it was for the fish.
Minor Crimes Act.
The Minor Crimes Act, which are essentially
Minor Crimes Act, misdemeanor. So why don't you tell everybody the max fine is $50, $100 for that? Why don't they tell me? They don't want to tell me the truth. You have 2 minor crimes. That's $100, $150 for 2. It's like $70 each. Why did they tell us the truth?
Okay. Then once you stack those misdemeanors with the felonies and the amount of time that he's stuck in Korea waiting for his trial, and suddenly he's there for a long time. He's sitting there laughing, but he's the only one here who's being held against his will in Korea.
You have to have some kind of weirdness in your brain. I'm gonna fly 7,000 miles across the world to watch a 5-minute hearing. They said, what's your name? What's your address? What's your occupation? Okay, bye-bye. See you April 9th.
minor tickets, fines. I don't know what these thought was going to be an O.J. Simpson trial.
The dude is just so mad that people showed up and told the world how cooked he seems to be. Like, the only good thing he has going for himself here is at least he's stuck in an awesome country. But a Korean lawyer did also come out and share his opinion that a slap on the wrist is not really in the cards for Johnny here either. So Johnny, he can just spin it however he wants, but the fact of the matter is he could not return to the US right now, no matter how much he wants to.
You're the one who's gonna look so dumb when I don't get any jail time or anything. Like bro, I'm gonna laugh like a villain. Look, I did go there and recognize all the charges. I said I was guilty. I did say all this because okay, it's just gonna be a fine. What the? I'm just gonna pay and leave, bro. Like you can't go to jail for this. You can't. Like you literally cannot.
I mean, again, I wouldn't really say that's a good strategy for his trial, but it's not like anything he's done has been a good strategy for his trial. So it's not like too much has changed here. So I guess with some time, we'll find out what actually happens. But if you want to see the full coverage of the trial, you can watch this video right here. And I'll be dropping a vlog of my journey in Korea for the members only here on the channel as well in the next couple of days. But other than that, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe, drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Peace to you too.
DC removed Black Lives Matter Plaza, not just painted over, it's being torn up. Like, damn, dude.
Rise up, black people. Rise the fuck up.
I don't need anyone else to.
I just voted no on this terrible continuing resolution written by right-wing Republicans in the House with no input from anybody but themselves. This bill moves our country toward authoritarianism by usurping Congress's constitutional responsibility to determine how federal funds are spent, and creates at the same time a slush fund for Elon Musk and Donald Trump to continue their war against the working families of our country. This bill puts more and more power into the hands of the White House. At a time when 60% of our people are living paycheck to paycheck and millions are struggling to keep their heads above water, this bill makes massive cuts to housing, healthcare, and nutrition, jeopardizes the functioning of the Social Security Administration, and continues the Trump administration's attack against veterans and the Veterans Administration. This bill will make the rich richer and the poor poorer. In order to pass this legislation, the Republicans needed 60 votes, which meant that they had to have 7 votes from Democrats, and they got them. Actually, they got 10 votes. That is sad. That is an absolute dereliction of duty on the part of the Democratic leadership. Nobody in this Senate should have voted for this dangerous bill. In America today, as all of you know, we face an unprecedented set of crises. We are moving rapidly toward an oligarchic form of society where Elon Musk and other billionaires are running the government. We are moving rapidly toward authoritarianism, where Trump is ignoring the Constitution and the separation of powers. We are moving rapidly toward a massive Republican bill, a reconciliation bill, that will cut Medicaid and other programs desperately needed by working families in order to provide the 1% with over $1 trillion in tax breaks. And in the midst of all of that, climate change, the existential threat to our planet, is completely ignored by the Republican leadership. So where do we go from here? As you've heard me say many times, The economic and political crises facing our country will not be solved here in Washington, D.C. The system is just too corrupt. As a result of Citizens United, billionaires are able to spend unlimited sums of money buying and selling politicians, and that is what they do. Further, on any given day, thousands of corporate lobbyists roam the halls of Congress doing the bidding of their corporate masters. If there has ever been a time in the modern history of our country where ordinary people at the grassroots level have got to stand up and fight back, now is that time.
Bernie, we don't need this subdued dog shit, bro. We're done, though. Everything's fucked. If you're scared of fascism, escape plan, Jackson. This fucking shit is fucked. This is our best hope right here, Bernie. Our best hope. And he is a Zionist, y'all. He's a liberal Zionist. And it's like we're fucked. It's almost like that there's literally no left in American politics. There's just two different versions of right wing. There's like the white nationalists and then the Zionists. And I'm gonna sit on BlueSky because I'm a genius.
Now is the time to reclaim our democracy. Now is the time to demand that we have an economy that works for all of us and not just the billionaire class. Now is the time for each and every one of us, as proud Americans, to get involved in the political process in any and every way that we can. Because here is the simple truth. The vast majority of the American people, Democrats, Republicans, and independents, do not want to see us maintain a corrupt campaign finance system which allows billionaires to buy elections. The vast majority of Americans, Democrats, Republicans, and independents, do not want to see Congress give tax breaks to billionaires and cut programs that low-income and working families need. The vast majority of Americans, Democrats, Republicans, and independents, do not want to see a handful of billionaires running our government. The vast majority of Americans, Democrats, Republicans, and independents, do not want to see us lose our democracy and move toward authoritarianism. The truth is, we can stop all of that. We can create a government that works for all of us and not just the few. But as evidenced today, it ain't gonna happen here in Washington. It's gonna happen out in your community, and in your community, and in your community. We are the majority. They are the 1%. The vast majority of the people are with us. They have the billionaires. Let us go forward together. Let us create the kind of nation you and I know that we can become. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I'll be right back.
Which is wild. But at the end of the day, as long as Asmongold changes his mind and then actively criticizes the Trump administration for violating First Amendment principles against non-citizens, then it's fine. I don't really give a shit. We don't care about Asmon, I know, but it doesn't matter. Okay, you might not care about it, but he is currently the largest political content creator. But ultimately position yourself as someone who very clearly is aligning with dudes who are super far right, but it doesn't matter because they're belittling your enemies. And of course, I suspect the reason why you're saying that is because of this tweet that I tweeted out this morning. I said, drama slop tubers have no politics beyond. I don't like this person and you shouldn't either. Political reasoning is purely added on as a way to moralize your own personal distaste. People get mad at me for being too charitable to people I disagree with, but I care about their political takes. Because that's precisely what it is. That's what I care about. I care about people's politics. I think for a lot of people, politics is just a weapon to wield to just simply do drama against people that you don't like or people that you feel have embarrassed you or something. You know what I mean? That's what it is. And that's precisely why he's over here saying, Asmongold might not be pro-Trump. The reason why is because there's like this weird allegiance, again, united around the distaste that they have against one person.
And he does pretty literal titles.
What about Asmon? Because he's juicing hard on Trump.
But he's like pro-Trump, isn't he?
Oh my God, is he?
I wouldn't say
I have to imagine, right?
I don't think he's like pro-Trump explicitly, overtly. I know people try to say that. I think he definitely leans more conservative, but I don't think he's as conservative as people try to paint him out to be.
Well, let's see.
Asmon is Trump.
He's Trump coded. That's
no,
a good.
Trump killed.
If I said I'm 99% sure the Holocaust happened, how many episodes would Ethan dedicate to that, you think? Like calling me a Holocaust denier?
What?
Trump killed.
That sounds pretty pro-Trump.
He said Trump what? Oh, good.
In other words,
I think I would say he's Trump coded.
Trump's good at this. ...
I've watched his content. It's not.
That was said sarcastically.
It's not super pro-Trump. He's Trump coded though. Did he vote for Trump? Probably yes.
I like that. I'm responsible for Donald Trump winning because I wasn't sufficiently pro Kamala Harris, even though my criticisms about Kamala Harris unironically revolved around trying to get her to do shit that would actually cause her to defeat Donald Trump. And yet nobody listened, of course. Why would they? I'm a dumbass Twitch streamer. But also, literally people who voted for Trump and are currently actively defending Trump, those people are, not responsible for Trump's victory. Even if Trump directly said their names on their, said their name at his not even in his inauguration, but his his party after winning, his victory party. Also, I don't even care if someone voted for Trump or not. What I care about is their output. I don't care if someone is literally secretly a Trump voter in their own personal life. Okay, if they're content creators, what I care about is their output. I would rather have a reactionary right-wing guy never talk about their politics and hide their politics than have someone who voted for Kamala Harris and loves Kamala Harris, or voted for the Democrats and loves Democrats, but is watching Donald Trump every day and being like, yeah, he's based, and defending every position of this administration. It is completely unacceptable. I hope people understand where I'm coming from with this. If you're a content creator, you have a platform, you have a position of prominence, you have a position of influence, you have a tremendous amount of influence over your own audience. With great power comes great responsibility. There's a finite amount of things that you can cover and things that you can pay attention to. So I care about what these people choose to pay attention to. I care about what these people choose to cover. I care about what these people spend their time on. And if all that you spend your time on is basically shitting on other progressive content creators while you simultaneously say you're a liberal, then you're probably not a liberal.
Probably.
Yeah, probably, yes. But it's not a total glaze fest or anything like that.
It's just wild because this person keeps saying I'm anti-Semitic. This is the person who keeps saying I'm anti-Semitic. Anyway, it's just very obviously just about pure spite, pure resentment, pure crash out, nothing else. Speaking of pure spite, pure resentment, and pure crash out, the oldest trick in the book that centrist nihilists apply is to say, oh, you got emotional, so you lost. And I suspect that there is a new Asmongold video out there in terms of drama slop tubers that are also hitting the center right pivot or the far right pivot. Asmongold did a video where I'm 100% correct, and he even conceded on my points on the Mahmoud Khalil shit. And the video itself is just basically saying Hassan got really emotional, so I won, which is wild. But at the end of the day, as long as Asmongold changes his mind and then actively criticizes the Trump administration for violating First Amendment principles against non-citizens, then it's fine. I don't really give a shit. We don't care about Asman, I know, but it doesn't matter. Okay, you might not care about it, but he is currently the largest political content creator, and therefore, whether you care about him or not, or whether we care about him in this community or not, doesn't change that reality. He is currently one of the largest political content creators on the internet. He is bigger than the Daily Wire. So, you know, the way I see it at this point is like it's no different than me covering Ben Shapiro.
I'm sorry,
If Ben Shapiro was constantly
online,
popping
I'll
off
be
and
back.
chirping, then obviously I would talk about Ben Shapiro. I get it. It's easy to factor it as though it's just like pure drama because who gives a shit? Because it's Asmongold is easy to say. But the reality of the matter is, I mean, look at this. He can't stop talking about me. 970,000 views. This is going to continue. And it does seem like a lot of centrists are going to lend their support to this person because of their own personal distaste towards me. It is what it is, but I will, we used to fact check Ben to provide an alternative. Now he is Ben. Exactly. So that's the way I see it.
No, it does not. What are you talking about?
I don't really
That's it.
know exactly how the law works. This is what I've heard.
Then why did you spend 48 hours worth of content saying, oh my God.
That's it.
And I certainly don't know all of the confines of like, I don't know everything about the immigration law either. Having said that, then why did you spend 48 hours worth of content saying?
Anyway, he spent way more than 48, by the way.
No, it does not. I did spend way more than this because this is, this is an issue that I am knowledgeable on. And this is an issue that I do have a well-established position on. This is an issue that I consider to be completely unconscionable. Also, how does no one in his audience recognize that this is like deliberately cut this way? Is it you reacting to Asma reacting to you? No, I'm not going to do that. I just wanted to show you. And not only that, but also the brigades have happened. The brigades have started again. I love that, the LSF mods have finally been able to cull the entire masses who would constantly bring up the fact is, a sex criminal. Now we're back. It's just all fronts. XQC. This is a Hassan stream now. Yeah, I got a tiny head. That was pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. But drama content creators doing Hassan does drama slop and not political content. All this shit. OMG, stop going on the subreddit. Hassan only covers CCs now. Okay. The reason why I'm briefly giving you an introduction into this before I move on to the Democratic Party's incompetence is because all of this plays a role in the minds of a lot of normies who don't actually pay attention to anything, who simply get their notes from the most palatable, drama-infused, drama-focused content creators possible. If you don't understand how this kind of stuff factors into people's political considerations, I don't know what to tell you. I get it. It's shitty. It sucks. And I don't want to talk about it, but I'm constantly getting egged on in this space. And a lot of you literally will look at an environment where you have apolitical podcasts and go, how the fuck do we develop such a robust network of right-wing commentary everywhere? This is the beginning of the funnel. That's it. That's it. This is the beginning of the funnel, and you're experiencing the beginning of the funnel move dramatically in the right wing, dramatically move in the right wing direction. That's it. The XCC one was funny though. Yes, I do have I know. I have a tiny head. I think interacting with apolitical content creators and Asmongold is better than talking about the other slop tubers. The slop has no value. All right. Anyway, just wanted to give a brief note. What I don't get is why focus on they should just do their own thing and leave you alone. They will never do that. Yeah, my drama is in every single circumstance. The drama that I find myself in is when other people are actively being like, you fucking suck, your opinions are wrong, and then it's usually the least informed person of all time establishing a political position by posturing against me, and that's pretty much it. So it comes across like I'm defending myself, and it's fucking annoying, and I hate doing it, and I don't want to do it, and I'm moving on from it. But just understand that everything is getting more and more right-wing, okay? Everything is getting more and more right-wing. There's a reason for it, and it's going to continue happening, and I hope you recognize it. I hope that we can build a counter to all of this. I hope that we can build a counter to all of this in independent media spaces, because the reality of the matter is we're just in the beginning. Things are going to get fucking worse, you know? Things are going to get worse and worse overall as the Trump administration puts the clamps on and continues to ruin the administrative state, continues to implement austerity measures, you know? I think you have to stop admitting you don't know everything. When you are stupid and people you watch act like they know everything, it makes you look vulnerable when you don't need to. Yeah, I'm going to keep being honest. I think that it's insane to act like you know everything. I don't know everything. And I think not knowing everything is what puts me at and admitting that I don't know everything puts me at a higher position in terms of intellect than the average person or the average commentator who acts like they fucking know what the hell they're talking about. I don't know. I'm very stubborn. I'm very stubborn. So I will continue doing what I've been doing. But let's move on from the drama slop tuber shit to the real drama that is taking place currently inside of the halls of Congress within the caucus of the Democratic Party. The bulk of the commentary matched what the video was titled / centered about. Twitch allowing an unfiltered rhetoric from your camp on its platform. The clips were actually sourced from the creators who streamed them. No, they weren't. You took clips that were directly out of context from Destiny's subreddit. That's where a lot of this stuff comes from. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So this is a bit personal news, but also simultaneously not so personal news because it like dovetails into conversations that I've had already. Last night I watched Noah Samson's latest video. His latest video was titled, I forget what it was. I think it was the YouTubers who backed it. And I posted about it on my Instagram and I said, hey, this is a really good video. You guys should watch it because I think it is a really good video. It's a really informative video. It's not just like drama. I know that people will look at it and go, oh, that's just a drama video. It's not. It actually carefully details all of the ways in which Israel has facilitated this genocide in Gaza, and not only does it feature all of that, but it also then shows the many ways in which a lot of like centrist slop tubers who have a lot of prominence, especially as a collective, like who have a lot of range amongst a broad audience of relatively apolitical people who aren't really paying close attention to stuff. You know, basically those guys, I think those guys taking a position, taking this like nihilistic centrist position on Israel by never really talking about Israel directly or never really talking about like the genocide and the things that have taken place, but instead covering it from the angle of like drama and what content creators are saying and how the content creators that are on the pro-Palestinian side being bad, like that, I think plays a very sinister and cynical role in also doing propaganda. And I think people need to understand that. So it goes beyond drama. It's just like, if you just simply cast it aside as drama, you miss the forest for the trees. It's important for people to recognize exactly what was going on there. I had covered this before. I'd covered Mudahar's like statements about this before. I didn't even know he had made one. Most of the time, a lot of content creators who are in like the tech space or in like random spaces, like they don't necessarily come out and make like big, bold, declarative statements about their politics or ongoing issues. But I think one of the ways in which like Keemstar adjacent drama slop YouTubers engage in this issue is by taking an even more sinister approach where they have no interest in understanding the actual impact, the actual issue, and instead they have all the interest in farming it and basically saying what their position is without actually saying what their position is. And I think that that is what a lot of these guys did. Some of them obviously openly and actively said they were pro like Destiny. Other Destiny dick riders also played along with that. And then there's like, you know, someone like Mudahar who did the lightest version of this. Basically, the only impact that he had was to say, I'm apolitical, both sides are kind of crazy, but the pro-Palestinian side in America, they're so bad. You know, there is no middle ground when it comes to, obviously, as you guys know, but the reason why I'm talking about this is because it ties perfectly back to all of the deplatforming efforts that are taking place right now online against people who have criticized Israel. And you're basically joining in on that pile-on when you're of talking about this to simply say the pro-Palestinian guys are actually really bad. Anyway, so he had this to say this morning. I get watching other people's videos is all you're really good at, but try vetting out slander before promoting Hassan the Hun. I have never defended or backed Israeli on innocent Gazans. Never will I ever. To which I responded with, in your only vid on Gaza, you admit to not knowing about politics. You try to cover Israel-Palestine as drama slop for centrist audience. You defend Asmongold for inferior culture / comment, then attack pro-Palestinian voices. So I guess you just wanted the ad revenue then. I then followed it up by saying, it's a particularly insane case because he's a victim of the same right-wing mobs he often farms in his videos. He literally left Twitter because of the vicious racism. And here he is back again, only to farm more. You went on Hajj, they hate you more than they hate me, which is true. He literally had to leave Twitter, and it's sad. It's a sad state of affairs when a brown Muslim content creator has to leave a social media platform because people are so vicious and so relentlessly attacking him, not on the virtues of his thoughts or his ideas or his opinions either, just simply because he's Indian, okay? It's completely unacceptable. It's disgusting. I've talked about it quite extensively. Now, having said that, part of the reason why he came back was to unironically, you know, play the role of one of the good ones. That's what's so crazy about it. Like he will act like he will say, I don't have a political opinion, but then also turn around and demonstrate a political opinion that, of course, is trying to position himself as like a centrist person, okay? As a centrist person, angling it from the perspective of drama. To which he also responded, by the way, in your video on Gaza. He said, yes, I do admit to not being an expert on the topic. Didn't cover it as drama since it isn't one. Serious situation with dead people and attacks happening every day. I just don't downplay rapes and sugarcoat violent organizations like you. Also didn't defend Asman in vid. Now, what's interesting about that response is it basically demonstrates the exact thing that I'm talking about. It also is a lie. He did cover it as simply drama, because I responded back to him saying, I didn't cover it as drama with this tweet. Okay. Yeah, I don't do this, and then ends up doing it. I responded with, we were a year into it here. This was your only video on the topic. It downplayed and ran defense for Asma's takes, while the bulk of your commentary revolved around how evil the pro-Palestinian streamers were from clips you compiled off snark subreddits. 990,000 views, though. And then I said, just going to leave this here again. For 16 months, there's been going on in Gaza. Israel has the same ambitions for the West Bank, which has been under apartheid occupational rule since 1967. If your advocacy is slandering and deplatforming pro-Palestinian voices, just admit you love Israel, and we know. Right? Yes, I gave it a self-like this morning. Suck my dick. I was retweeting it. So my point here is that these guys, I think, thought that they can get away with doing this shit. And for much of this time, for much of the time frame in my coverage on Israel-Palestine, I haven't really hyper focused on like a bunch of these drama slob tubers. I think Bad Empanada has done a decent job. Bad Empanada has done a decent job of like going after some of these guys, at least like by breaking down the lack of arguments that they're posting on their videos, right? Because normally you would think like, okay, these guys don't have any sort of serious interest or whatever. Why are you talking about them? They're silly. They're completely. They're irrelevant, right? Like real things are happening in the world and these guys are relevant. They're not, because as a collective, they have the capacity to basically inform a lot of uninformed people. And what are they using? What are they doing with the influence that they have? They're deluding people into thinking suspiciously that all of the pro-Palestinian people, all the pro-Palestinian advocates are just like scary monsters or whatever. There's scary racist monsters that are undermining rapes. Like that right there, almost since it isn't one, I just don't downplay rapes and sugarcoat violent organizations like you. That right there is literally, that right there is a political statement. And it is one devoid of any information whatsoever. And yes, in terms of Mudahar, he's an interesting person because I used to talk to him all the time. I used to get help from him on like Steam Deck related stuff. And then he started orbiting Destiny around the same time that Destiny was like becoming super pro Israel. And he noticeably was quiet on this issue. You know, he had more tweets about this. Not sure what he meant by your kind, though. Maybe you know. Yeah, like you are not pro free speech. You're not an honest person. And all you care about either in this situation, all you care about is either making money. Okay. All you care about is either making money and farming this as like angling this in the least contentious way possible and make money off the backs of people fucking dying, babies getting murdered every single day by Israel. It's either something that you're not genuinely interested in, or B, it's worse, you actually do like Israel, but you're too ashamed to admit it. And I don't think he likes Israel and he's too ashamed to admit it. I think he's just like not very knowledgeable and you know, wanted to make a statement about it, but take a very centrist position. And because he can't say something directly about Israel or Gaza, because then everyone's going to eat his ass alive, all he does is go after people who do demonstrate the courage to talk about these issues. Meanwhile, all he does is fucking basically farm clout and money off of it. Yeah, it's almost as if the bulk of the commentary matched what the video was titled / centered about. Twitch allowing violent and unfiltered rhetoric from your camp on its platform. The clips were actually sourced from the creators who streamed them. No, they weren't. You fucking took clips that were directly out of context from fucking Destiny's subreddit. That's where a lot of this stuff comes from. It's okay. You don't have to admit it, but we know that that's what a lot of slop tubers do. It's not just Destiny's subreddit either. They literally... Most people that make these kinds of like drama-centered videos unironically just source it off of fucking Reddit. That's it. They literally go off of Reddit comments. That's the game. out here. That is the level of research that most people dedicate to T channels and drama channels in general. But yeah, it's notice how there is no statement here. Okay, notice how there is no like evidence here. The evidence is Twitch is allowing violent and unfiltered rhetoric, or you're downplaying rapes. Like, did this person read the UN report? Does he have? Did he even watch like the Sheryl Sandberg atrocity propaganda flick and then develop his opinion on this issue? Did he read any Israeli newspapers or American newspapers on the matter? And that's how he came up with this idea that like mass rapes had taken place, because he read the New York Times Screams Without Words propaganda piece that was immediately undermined, by the way. Like, did he do any of that? Is that why he has this position? No, he has no position. He's just repeating something he saw on Reddit. That's my point. And that's what's really frustrating about this issue, is that these guys try to maintain this like nihilistic centrist perspective, but they constantly attack one fucking side while also lightly criticizing the other side. Here, look at this. Look at the situation. Asmongold quite literally said Palestinians are inferior culture and genocide is appropriate.
Everything Western values stand for, and it is an inferior culture in all ways.
Ooh, god damn. Bro, what the fuck? Holy shit. Dude, he went in. He's fucking, ooh, god damn. I don't know where the full clip is. I guess it's, so what the fuck is who did he say? Did he say the Palestinians were inferior cultures or something? I mean, like, at the end of the day, I don't think anybody should sit there and fucking be like, oh, I guess a whole group of people deserve to be genocided. Like, at the end of the day, that doesn't make you any better.
Damn, thanks, man. That's a good take, right? That's a good take. He's obviously being very critical of Asmongold here. Is it matching what Asmongold is saying? Not necessarily.
You know what I mean? It just doesn't really.
This is the problem that I have with so many fucking centrists, okay? They will always defend free speech on the principles when it comes to like some of the most insane right-wing shit you've ever heard, okay? Nazis protesting on college campuses. Not saying Mudahar is doing this. I'm just broadly saying a lot of fucking centrists, a lot of fence sitters, whether it be people like Tim Pool who presented themselves as such, or a lot of these fucking drama slop tubers, they will only talk about free speech when it's like video game titties getting smaller, or when it's like not being able to say a slur on a fucking social media platform. That's the only thing that is like the defense of free speech. When there is an actual issue of the highest political severity, a genocide that is ongoing, and there are active deplatforming initiatives, they will literally fucking stand right there and advocate for that deplatforming to take place. They will then never turn around and do commentary on a severe violation of the First Amendment, like with the Mahmoud Khalil situation, where the American government decided and openly stated that they have no evidence that this person had violated the law at all, that they had actually black bagged them from his fucking house with the goddamn Gestapo from Columbia University and shipped them to Louisiana overnight with the purpose of revoking his green card and deporting him only because he engaged in a protest that they did not like. He didn't violate any rules. He didn't violate any laws. He was the lead negotiator with Columbia University. Think about that, man. Like, I'm done with this shit. If these guys had any sort of honesty, any sort of integrity, any sort of genuine care for freedom of speech, for example, freedom of expression, they would probably spend a good deal of their time criticizing the Trump administration. He's also double cut because he's Canadian on top of everything else. Because like Donald Trump is actively talking about annexing Canada too. That's the other side of the story. But hey, what the fuck do I know?
Make you any better than the shitty party out there. But I assume he's probably referring, if I'm being very charitable, to like.
I mean, why he's being very charitable to Asmin? Was that same charitably extended to someone like myself or someone like Frogan? No, it wasn't. Because only means, or being apolitical only means you always end up on one side of the issue, and that side is the right-wing side.
Like gay people who like ally with that, it's like I Okay, there's got to be a longer clip than this, dude. Like, I feel like there's at least like a fucking 30 seconds from the beginning that I'm missing here that I just have no idea.
Yeah, well, I'll show you what his take was on.
But like any other motherfucker, you're doing them. Oh my god, I want my Camaro, no student loans. F you. I hope you get PTSD, and I hope you get no health insurance when you get back in America.
Oh, how out of touch do you gotta be? How privileged do you gotta be to sit there on your ass in California and just badmouth the people that take a bullet for your freedoms every single day? The most outrageous shit you'll ever hear. Like downright, just hateful rhetoric.
Yeah, didn't need context for that, baby. No context necessary. Oh, hell yeah. Loud and proud, USA. We'll put a boot in your ass, it's the American way. And tell Uncle Sam, you're a man. Statue of Liberty came shaking up for years, and the whole world came crashing down on me.
Now, obviously, the people who are in the military were like, whoa, we're getting that Camaro. I have never in a million years met somebody, and I met...
That's the funniest thing, is just like, because the Camaro line is such a funny meme. In the video, he defends Asma by saying he's probably talking about extremist Muslims. I know. When he gets the full context of the situation, this is how he responded to it, okay? Like, we covered this before. I covered this on the stream because I couldn't believe it. Like, I was genuinely shocked. I was like, damn, dude, like, that's how fucking hard you want to suck off, like, alt-right weirdos, like, loser-ass dudes. That's how hard you want to fucking suck these losers off? You want to farm them that hard? I get it. You're like a tech YouTuber, but it's crazy.
And I feel like I need to clarify. I'm not somebody that is afraid to say that genocide is wrong. I think that there is an actual case of genocide, and there's an actual case of attack that goes towards the Palestinian people. I think there's very serious situations that go around the world.
Very serious situations.
Now, at the same time, these are situations that involve, a group of people, Muslims and Jews, that have effectively been at each other's throats for not.
One could say that the Palestinians are experiencing what could be considered the first steps of contextually appropriate framing of genocide, but also, Jews and Muslims, they've just been at it for centuries.
And I don't want to jump and make this like a super political video because, again, I'm not equipped to even discuss this kind of stuff, but I am.
You're 30 minutes in! What are you doing? Yeah, that's what's so frustrating. It's like, dude, if you're not knowledgeable on this issue that is a fucking very serious issue, okay, then why the fuck are you making a video on the issue from the framework of drama while also simultaneously coming down harder on the fucking pro-Palestinian advocates than you do on the side that said genocide is fine, the culture is inferior? And then turn around and say, well, they've just been fighting each other for a millennia. It's bullshit. It's not correct. It's incorrect information. It is ahistorical. And it unironically feeds into this false notion that, like, it's just Jews and Muslims fighting. Like, get the fuck out of here. I can't stand these dudes, man. I can't stand motherfuckers who just act like this is just like a... Muslims versus Jews type situation. Like, my point is this, okay? A lot of people will yell, or a lot of people, I think, in the beginning, in the first couple of months especially, but like, definitely over the last 16, 17 months, have been yelling at their content creators to make a statement about this, okay? And it's understandable. You want to apply pressure to, the government. You want to keep protesting. You want to get the word out. You want to bring awareness to the situation. And in that process, you want your content creators that you love, content creators with a lot of influence, to come out and make a statement. And you can say, like, I think genocide is unconscionable. I'm not very well equipped to talk about this. That's one thing, right? But like, the moment that you come out and actually try to do this fucking cowardly thing where you're like, I'm pro-Palestine, but I won't really say it fully, but I think genocide is bad. But also all of these pro-Palestinian advocates in an effort, while there is a deliberate effort to try and deplatform every single fucking pro-Palestinian voice, okay, turning around and being like, yeah, these guys are too radical for my taste. Yeah, you are taking a position. You're taking a cowardly position, and I am infinitely more charitable to people if they admit that they're coming at this from a position of not being knowledgeable, but then they fucking step aside. They don't try to like enter the fray of political commentary with no info whatsoever and then turn around and say, I don't really know anything, but these guys seemingly are really radical. Well, if you don't know anything, then shut the fuck up. Why are you taking a bold stance like this then? You know? Do you think that the 8-second clips that you posted are reflective of my actual fucking commentary on this issue? I've done hundreds of videos with actual fucking professors, journalists, victims of genocide. It's so ridiculous that like all of that is just inconsequential. Israeli academics, Arab academics, like, what are we talking about? What are we doing here? And then it's just all it takes is like one fucking asshole to be like, yeah, this seems radical to me. It just pisses me off so much. It's like, don't assume a fucking bold stance like this. Don't take a bold stance like this. Seems like you have a firmly held conviction on the matter. These guys are too radical. That's the... When all is said and done, when the dust is settled, is that what you want your primary takeaway from this subject matter to be? We have a finite amount of time on this earth, okay? On God's green fucking earth. We only have a limited amount of time here, okay? We are going to perish one day. In that finite amount of time, you and I, Mudahar and myself, we were fortunate enough and privileged enough to have a platform with profound influence. Okay, is that what you want your only takeaway to be from this moment? I'm not pro-Israel. You know, I don't think genocide is appropriate, but these people who are actually calling out this genocide are getting attacked, and I am joining the people that are attacking those people. It's fucking ridiculous. It makes me so mad. It is so cowardly. All he could have done is maybe even shut the fuck up. Like, I don't know why he thinks he's dipping his toes back into this. Okay? I don't want to talk about that topic creator is pro-Israel. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, Muda going after Twitch here when Destiny and Ethan started brigading advertisers together. Exactly. And it's also the kind of shit that like a lot of these apolitical content creators wouldn't stand for normally. Okay, it's a lot of stuff that these apolitical content creators normally wouldn't stand for if it was happening to any other fucking content creator. You want to know what I mean by that? Like, if any other content, these guys were attacking Ethan when Ethan was like calling out Keemstar's advertisers. They were like, you can't fuck up the bag. You're gonna fuck up the bag for everybody. But hey, God forbid, dude. When deplatforming, you're always anti-deplatforming until it's a motherfucker who you don't like or is saying some shit that you don't actually like. I hate that. I hate how cowardly that shit is. Have some fucking conviction, dude. Yeah, he's just he's just framing drama for reviews from his right-wing gamer audience. I don't think you should think too much on this. I'm not. I know that is the statement. I know that is what's going on. These guys' only politics is basically so many slop tubers online. Their only frame of reference for politics is just like, this guy is an avatar for all things progressive. A lot of people fucking hate him for that reason. I'm just gonna shit on that guy. And it's a cowardly way to say your position without saying your position. Okay, oh, I'm a liberal, but honestly, I don't really like this guy who is seemingly far too progressive for me. Guys, I'm one of the good ones. Come on, I'm a centrist. And it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating to see that shit. It's cowardly. It's infinitely better if you just don't even entertain this stuff at all. You don't bring it up. You don't get into it. You don't throw your hat in the fucking ring. It's all copy paste too. It's all copy paste. It's all ridiculous. Anyway, shame on Mudahar. And he is like the least offensive person out of all of these. It's just very frustrating regardless. Yeah. Also, one final word on this whole thing. I don't understand why you bring up my Hajj while being the most Muslim cosplayer I've ever seen. Yeah, I'm such a Muslim cosplayer. What the fuck am I doing that's a Muslim cosplayer? It's Ramadan. I'm fucking drinking coffee right now. I've never cosplayed being a Muslim, okay? I was born a Muslim to a Muslim family in a Muslim nation, and my opinions on Islam have evolved throughout fucking time. Just because I defend Muslims and their right to practice their fucking religion doesn't mean I'm a, Muslim cosplayer. You know who's a Muslim cosplayer? Andrew fucking Tate. That's a Muslim cosplayer. I've been pretty open about my perspective in terms of like how I view religion, my religion, and what I think of it all. I am culturally Muslim in the same way that, like someone will say they're Jewish, they're culturally Jewish, or someone in America who is not fucking really Christian at all will say they're culturally Christian. That's it. My existence is